Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series takes on Sweet Home Talladega here tonight on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250. My name is William Tiller, of course. Alongside me is Jake Reeves and Mr. Adam Fleeger, the man providing all the sights and sounds of tonight's race. We're getting to the high banks. Going to be a lot of action, a lot of three wide racing. Jake, what are the fans in store for here tonight, and who do you think is going to dominate the Super Speedway?
Well, Will and everybody at home, welcome to Talladega Superspeedway in beautiful Talladega, Alabama. It's like a second home to me personally because I've been to this track numerous times. Matter of fact, going there here in the next 2 weeks to watch the Fall Cup Series race. But I mean, this track is absolutely a monster. 2.66 miles, 33 degrees of banking. These guys are going to be in the draft 185 to 190 miles an hour in these Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series trucks, and they will have it all on the floor. These guys know that they got a shot to try to get into the playoffs here tonight, and with a win here at Talladega will definitely seal that for these guys. But Will, to answer your question on who I think has got a good shot, honestly, I'm looking at that number 9. I'm looking at Christopher Blanchard. And honestly, this cat right here, he knows what he's doing here on the Super Speedways. Done some miraculous things in the Thursday Night Speed Week series that we've had here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. I've raced with him in those. Christopher Blanchard, he is going to be the one to watch tonight, but also another one, Jason Morales. Watch him as well. He's going to be a threat here tonight as well.
Well, looks like that starting grid, though, for the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250 is ready to rock and roll. We have Kevin D'Elia on the pole position, Jeff Merck in second, Stephen Thomas third, Ashley Dotson fourth, Kyle Hess fifth, Brady LaBeouf sixth, Justin White seventh, Chris Cinnamon eighth, Hunter Parsons ninth, and our top 10, Jason Morales in that 5.
And Christopher Blanchard in the 9. He'll start 11th. Zach Hartwick right beside of him. He will be 12th. The Joker, Joey Doucette, 13th. Eric Zimmerman will be 14th. Hutt Wigginton in the 00 entry. He will start 15th with Jacob Klinkart in the 5 to his outside in 16th. Jeffrey Sickles in 17th. The Animal, Keith Bradley, will start 18th. Jose Luis Rivera 19th. And Adam Newton will round at the top 20.
Pretty good field here tonight. In the 21st position, we have Justin Lumpkin, Adam Johnson, 23rd, Taylor Peacock, 24th, Brennan Bullock, 25th, Raul Meza, 26th, Adam Newton, 27th, Blake Lothian, 28th, 29th, Dennis Shepard, 30th, Robbie Richards, and Cody Knott and Michael McKinnon round out our field in the 30th and 31st positions. Off the air here tonight, Jake, you're talking about how excited you were to hit the high banks. It's been a while here in this series. Daytona was the last time we saw high banks. That was about 8 weeks ago here in this series.
Absolutely, and Jason Morales, who won that race, I guess you could say some guys maybe even looked at it as a controversial finish with him and Kyle Hess at the end of that race. But Jason Morales able to score the win. Now we see Jason Morales out here. He's going to be inside the top 10, looking to try to make it 2 for 2 on the Super Speedways this season.
Well, it's Sweet Home Talladega here tonight in the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series, as it's Jeff Merck and Kevin D'Elia taking us down to corner number 1.
Basically looking like they was under the pace lamps from the lap before. Kevin D'Elia up top trying to see if he can get some type of push from Stephen Thomas. Looks like the inside lane will start the advance. Jeff Merck, he's going to lead it off on the bottom. Now jump up top as wow, they're already starting to mix it up right here on lap 1 as Dodson goes to the bottom and has no part of any of these.
Drivers already starting to pull out as we're going down the backstretch here into 3 and 4. You see 3 wide. Kevin D'Elia finds himself in that danger zone lane. That opens it up, though, for a new leader on the racetrack. Stephen Thomas in that 23. What a first lap we have here tonight in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250. It looks like Stephen Thomas will take the first lap here at Talladega.
Stephen Thomas really starting to make some moves, starting fourth all the way up to first. And folks, you can change your spots. I mean, basically, you can lose spots and you can gain spots so much in one lap here at Talladega. That is how you do it. Up front, Stephen Thomas right on the bottom. Got Kevin DeLea right behind him. Here comes Jeff Merck up top with Hunter Parsons. They're going to try to make a run on the top side as they go into turn 3. Hunter Parsons still all over the back bumper of Jeff Merck.
Yeah, holding it down on the inside lane into 3 and 4. Jeff Merck on that top side as the field comes rolling around. 3 and 4 here at Talladega. Only a few laps in the books, but these drivers don't know that, as we're about to go side by side for the lead across that line here on lap 2.
And Merck right up top still gets the help from Hunter Parsons. Now here comes Justin White. He's going to advance up on that top side. Here comes Jason Morales. The outside lane starting to get some formation down on the bottom. They're starting to bob and weave just a little bit, but still very tight for the lead right now is Jeff Merck. Stephen Thomas. Now here goes Kevin DeLea. He's going to drop to the back. He sees something that he doesn't like. And Jose Luis Rivera, Zach Hallmark, they're going to get up here in the middle of this.
Like a lion in the jungle, they don't stretch before they go hunting for their prey. These drivers aren't stretching here tonight at Talladega. We have lead changes. We have 3 wide battles as Jeff Merck will take us off the corner. One of the hottest drivers here in Nazareth. That 60 machine wants to claim the high banks here tonight. He'll lead this lap across the start-finish line.
Merck now has it, but here comes Hunter Parsons in the 25. Huge shot from the number 2 of Justin White, getting also help from Jason Morales on that top side. Hunter Parsons had the lead for just a second. Now here comes Merck down back on the bottom, getting the help from Stephen Thomas and Christopher Blanchard. Side by side in the middle of the back straightaway, the Alabama gang super stretch, if you will, as Hunter Parsons edges out over Jeff Merck.
Yeah, using that high side to his advantage into 3 and 4, just sort of dipping his toes in that middle lane, trying to get as low as he can as he gets it pushed alongside there. Still Jeff Merck coming off a corner number 4. He's getting pushed there by Hunter Parsons on the low side. That's Stephen Thomas on the low side in that 23. Hunter Parsons, though, will lead this lap here as that switches again into 1 and 2. Hunter Parsons on the low side.
And Justin White now will lead that top side. Got Jason Morales. Now Jacob Klinkart jumps up here. Started 16th all the way to 6th, folks. That is how fast you can move here at Talladega. Stephen Thomas drops below the double yellow line. You cannot pass to advance your position as Hunter Parsons gets stacked up and gets wiggly, if you will, on that bottom lane. Here comes Klinkart and Kyle Hess on the top side.
Oh my goodness, what a race so far here tonight, and the concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. Everybody wants to win here at Sweet Home Talladega. New leader again on the racetrack. That's something we have to keep track of here tonight. Jake, is the amount of lead changes as Justin White has gone up 7 spots from the drop of the green flag. He's our leader into 1 and 2.
Jason Morales, he's been up 7 spots as well, up to the 3rd spot. But Justin White, he is down on the bottom. Here comes Jeff Merck. He had the lead for a good portion here in the first couple of laps. Now he's going to jump up top, and he's got Christopher Blanchard right on his tailgate. Klinkart all over Blanchard's tailgate. As they stack up just a little bit, Klinkart gets into the back of Blanchard. Klinkart has to fall back, and that will dissipate the top lane as Justin White gone on the bottom with Jason Morales.
Yeah, these battles up at the top of the grid have not calmed down since the drop of the green flag. Jason Morales, you talked about how good he is at the high banks. He's currently in that 2nd spot on the low side. They come across the front stretch here, across that start-finish line into 1 and 2. Justin White still leading the way, but a huge run out of the 5 out of Jacob Klinkart like a rocket here at Sweet Home Talladega with 3 wide inside the top 5.
3 wide, and Klinkart's trying to make the most of it if he can. Got some help from Blake Lothian up there in that top side. Now Jose Luis Rivera right behind him. Which lane will he go with? He'll look to go to the top, and he will. So the outside lane really starting to form up on the top of the racetrack. but all up front. Jeff Merck still trying to hold the middle with Christopher Blanchard, but Justin White still fighting back, but don't count out Clinkart in that outside lane.
Can't count out anybody right now. It has that danger zone lane. Looks to eat up another victim across this front stretch. Jeff Merck has to be careful. He doesn't want to get caught up too early. He has to get to the low side as quick as possible. Jacob Clinkart is keeping that train rolling around the bend. Shout out to Johnny Cash because he has found some friends on that top side, including Blake Lothian at 43, who has climbed his way inside the top 5 as we're down the backstretch.
Shout out to Garth Brooks because Justin White's got friends in low places. Got Jason Morales, and now the Joker, Joey Doucette, has slid that number 16 entry up here in the middle of this battle. Up front, Merck hung out to dry, smack dab in the middle. Jose, and it looks like Raul Meza trying to see if he can try to slide up here. But Clinkart, Lothian, Jose Luis Rivera rolling up here on this top side. They will get it right here at the start-finish line as Clinkart's going to lead this lap.
Clinkart puts a lap underneath his belt into 1 and 2. He'll take Blake Lothian to the low side of the racetrack here. 9 laps into the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250. And the concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. Clean race so far, coming off of 2 down this backstretch. And Drake, I wanted to ask you, as we come thundering down this long backstretch, when do we start to see some tire wear come into play?
You're not going to see any tire wear, honestly, Will. I mean, this track right here, these guys, they're not going to be really worried about tire wear, especially coming up in this, at the end of this stage. You may see some guys go in, maybe put on left sides, maybe put on right sides. I don't really see anybody going for 4 tires here at Talladega because there is no tire wear here at this track. It's all about the aero. It's all about the speed. It's all about who you can make friends with. And right now, Merck has found another friend in the form of Blanchard, as here comes Raul Meza right up behind him trying to advance this top side.
Oh my goodness, has Raul Meza been moving in this race? You just keep it moving, keep it moving. That 37 machine currently in 5th is up 26 spots since the drop of the green flag. Raul Meza in that 37, we like to call him the heartbreak kid there. Jake, we always cheer for him. Everybody's hoping that he gets into victory lane. Could be here tonight. Currently inside that top 5 as a fast truck in this race.
Yeah, Raul Meza, we've seen him plenty of times. He is not one of those guys to ride at the back and let the race happen out. He wants to go up and take charge of it, and he's trying to with a lot of help around him. Brandon Bullock stuck right behind him, and Christopher Blanchard, one of the best that I have seen in Nazareth at these Superspeedway races. Blanchard still trying to advance Jeff Merck on this top side, but I'm telling you, this bottom lane just will not go away with Jacob Clinkart, Blake Lothian, and the Joker, Joey Doucette.
Got to remember, though, Jacob Clinkart was on the high side of the racetrack, did a great job to go all the way on the squeeze position to the low side of the racetrack. We watch how tight this race is as we come off the corner side by side for the race lead. Jeff Merck, Jacob Clinkart, just a few laps to go here in stage number 1, which will end on lap 20. We're side by side across that start-finish line in the 1 and 2, the battle ensues.
And yeah, I mean, Will, you just mentioned it right there. This stage break coming up, these stage points will be awarded here at the end of this stage, and that's when everything really starts to get chaotic here at Talladega. Up front, Merck getting the shove from Blanchard. Clinkart still trying to find some help down there from Lothian. Now the inside starts to advance. Now they pull back even with Jeff Merck.
Oh, just you feel everything rumbling and shaking here at Talladega, everybody's favorite racetrack. Clinkart takes us off of the corner on the inside. Jeff Merck on the high side. There have been some dogs here in this race as we make a lap 13 across the start-finish line into 1. Jeff Merck takes that lap. He has some guys battling out. Here comes the Joker, Joey Doucette, in the mix as well.
Yeah, Blanchard really wanted to jump down in behind Jeff Merck, but Clinkart closed that door as quick as he possibly could. Now Blanchard up top trying to get the help from Raul Meza and Brandon Bullock on this top side. But the inside looks like it is well formed. And with more trucks down there on that bottom side, Blanchard and Raul Meza is really going to have to get pushing if they want to try to get up here and get door to door with Jeff Merck.
Jeff Merck, one of those rookies we've talked about throughout this season, Jake, that's really hit the ground running, has been very strong at almost every racetrack we've went to. Although Keith Bradley, the animal, has snagged those checkered flags, it has been Jeff Merck that's been battling out for those race wins late in those races as we put another lap in the books into 1 and 2. So a race leader on that inside, but he's going to watch Chris Blanchard in that 9. So many guys here tonight, Jake, coming out of nowhere as we come off of 2.
And that's how you do it here at Talladega. I mean, you come out of nowhere, you'll see guys that you wouldn't necessarily see running at the front of the pack will be at the front of the pack. That is the great equalizer here at Talladega. Christopher Blanchard trying to advance on the top side. Here comes Merck. He jumps up, tries to make the block. That opens the door. Clinkhart down on the bottom, gets the shove from Lothian. Now Clinkhart trying to go for the lead at Talladega.
Jacob Clinkhart would love to taste victory lane here tonight on that inside lane, side by side with Jeff Merck across that start-finish line. Lap 14, 6 laps to go in stage number 1. You need those bonus points as Jeff Merck just wants to get that lead. Jake, he can't get it. Like that favorite bicycle that you wanted for Christmas, it just ain't gonna happen as we're still side by side for the lead down the backstretch.
But he might get it as Blanchard shoved him clean off of turn 2 right in the middle of the back straightaway. Now the inside lane will start to advance. Lothian gets right up Clinkhart's tailgate, tries to shove him going into 3 and staying locked right on his tailgate. As they come off of turn 4, Clinkhart has the lead up top. No help up top as they are discombobulated on this top side. Clinkhart looks like he's going to lead this lap as well.
They're just singing, why can't we be friends on that top side lane as Ashley Dotson, though, in that 88. Very strong on those short tracks that we've seen. Very strong on the road course as well. Here tonight, Jake, this is not where you want to be. He's got the animal back here with him. Brady LaBeouf in this 24. It's okay, I'd have to say, though, Jake. Now, looking at this situation, it's okay. Lap 16, you're going to get a stage break. Maybe just trying something here on this second gap.
Well, I mean, I think what they're trying to do, honestly, I think they're trying to stay out of the mess that is up front. I mean, these guys up here pushing, shoving, bouncing off one another, if you will, at times. Ashley Dodson, Keith Bradley, Brady LaBeouf, the Mission 1 Esports guys, if you will, back here in the back just trying to save their trucks for later on in this race. Obviously, a long ways to go as now we're completing lap 17, so 4 more to go in this stage out of 100. They got a long ways to go here in this race.
I love a race like this, Jake. The driver's going to experiment a very, very tough course that is Talladega. You're going to learn a lot here in this first stage. Only 4 laps to go that you can implement the rest of this race. Here comes another 3-wide battle brewing up back there in the pack. We see another line forming on the high side of the racetrack into 3 and 4.
Yeah, absolutely. We see that outside lane really starting to form up back there, and that is the help of Hunter Parsons back there in the 25, trying to see if he can get a little bit of help from Justin White. Here comes Jason Morales. He's back there with them, all 3 of them trying to line up on this top side. With 3 of them, they're trying to go around the whole pack. Here they go. They're up to the second row. They're up to the third. They're up to the second row. They're going even farther, trying to get to the front row that's occupied by Clinkhart and Jeff Merck.
They're just moving on that top side wherever they end up. That 25 machine is going to love it. Hunter Parsons, that is going to lead Justin White up there with him. Jason Morales in that 1. They're just moving and grooving on that top side here at Talladega. They just need to keep that line moving to get to the low side. That's the fast groove here so far, Jake. Oh man, there's almost contact between Jeff Merck and Jacob Clinkhart off of 4 with 3 by 3 across the start-finish line.
Yep, 2 to go, and Parsons has it now. He's trying to see if he can stay up there. At least I would. up there with Justin White, who has got him to that point. Try not to hang him out, but here comes Jeff Merck back down on the bottom. He's got the help. Christopher Blanchard right smack dab with him. Merck all by himself, and they're 3 wide on back. Here comes Clinkhart down on the bottom. Parsons up top with Justin White as Blanchard gets to the back of Merck. 3 wide going into turn 3 here at Talladega.
Blake Lothian with a big push to the back end of Jacob Clinkhart into 3 and 4. Jeff Merck is in the middle. Hunter Parsons is on that high side, although the high side has dissipated just a little bit. We're side by side for the race lead off for Jacob Clinkhart. Jeff Merck, who will be our race leader. Another lap in the books here. To go in stage number 1 of the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250.
And here comes Hunter Parsons. Got Justin White right up his tailgate trying to see if they can advance this outside lane for one more try to try to get Parsons some stage points and a playoff point as well. Here comes Parsons. They're up top. Merck not able to jump up and block. White all over his back bumper, shoving him going into turn 3. Parsons with the lead just a little bit as they go into turn 3.
Oh my goodness, as we come around 3 and 4, folks, this is just stage number 1. Jeff Merck is in that danger zone lane. Can he maintain, or will Hunter Parsons get a run on the high side? Jacob Clinkhart in the 5 on the low side. We'll watch here as we come run into the start-finish line. Who will get stage number 1? Hunter Parsons! It is a photo finish at the line, Jake. It looks to be Hunter Parsons in that 25, the stage 1 winner here in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250 by virtual inches at the line.
Yeah, virtually, as timing and scoring will show .000. That is how tight that finish was at the line.
Wow.
Parsons has got to be sending Justin White an early Christmas present for that, or Christmas card for this. Check out this finish right here, folks. Merck stuck in the middle, tried to come down and side draft Jacob Clinkhart. Check it out. This is a beautiful thing to see. I hope we can see this at the end of the race. Parsons gets it.
Oh my goodness, how close is that, Jake?
Absolutely beautiful sight to see right there, and I'm sure Hunter Parsons absolutely loves it as well. Parsons gets it by just that much, folks. That's how much, and that's how close, and that's how tight the racing can get here at Talladega.
Yeah, and if we could rewind it just a little bit there, you could see from that angle at the flag stand how close that nose was at that start-finish line. Wow, what a battle right there. And as you mentioned too, Justin White almost came up, made it 4 wide at the line, Jake. Taking a second look at it here. This is the end of stage number 1 of the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250. And right there, I think it's just barely a little piece of the nose going to cross the line.
Yeah, I mean, just barely, but hey, barely counts. Well, I mean, that is all that it needed to be, was just that little bit of what he could get right there. I mean, he barely gets it right there. I mean, it was so tight that it was even hard for us to capture it, even on a paused camera. That's how close it was right there.
As the entire field has headed down pit road, here comes our stage 1 winner off of pit road, Hunter Parsons, in that 25. Great run to snag that stage victory. Let's see if we can't catch up with that 25 and that all that pit road business is out of the way. Hunter, you just had one of the most incredible finishes to end a stage right at the line. Take us through what was a very frantic stage number 1.
Oh my God, I was shaking. I'll tell you that. I was more nervous for the end of that stage than the finish of Monday at Charlotte. Hell of a push by White there, HLR teammate. So part-time here, so I don't get any stage points, but I'm glad I can kind of come up here and shake up the points for those that are running for stage points.
Hunter, still a long way to go here in this race. We're probably looking at around 80 or so laps. What's it going to take to not only survive this race, as you just talked about how crazy that finish was, but to put that 15 in victory lane?
Going to take a lot of luck. you can have as much fuel strategy as you want, but we all know it's more than likely going to come down to a caution here at the end, and you're just going to need a little bit of help and some teammates in your favor.
No cautions in stage number 1, though. Hunter, you get that stage victory. With that victory, anybody you want to shout out or any sponsors that helped you get that stage win?
Yeah, first off, Justin and Jason behind me there running that top lane. Blanchard's Towing, guys at JGR, and of course you guys for putting this all on. I know broadcasting a Superspeedway isn't always the most of fun, so we'll give her hell stage 2 and hopefully to the end.
All right, Hunter, good luck the rest of the way. We'll let you go, and we'll hope to talk to you soon.
I hope so.
That was Hunter Parsons, the driver of the number 25 machine, our stage number 1 winner. And Jake, that was a very crazy stage there, moving points, but talking about moving points, check out those point standings here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some great point standings there. Obviously, you know, Keith Bradley with the 3 wins up front. You got Merck, Joey Doucette, Phil Pappas. Those are the guys that have won a race this season. That obviously Adam Newton sitting there 5th, Lumpkin 6th, Justin White 7th, Ashley Dodson 8th, Taylor Peacock and Kyle Hess the top 10. But I'm telling you, this whole points standings, I mean, it could straight up shake up 100% with just this race right here. Well, I mean, anything can, I mean, it could just get, you can just get just all over the place right here.
Absolutely, as the field comes down the backstretch here, getting ready to rock and roll here into 3 and 4. Jeff Merck will start us off, and we'll look at a new top 10 there. Jake, if you want to run us through that brand new top 10.
Yeah, I mean, the top 10 right here, you're going to have Hunter Parsons, who just edged out, getting that awesome stage 1 win. Got Jeff Merck. He's going to be on the bottom side. Parsons will take the top. Clinkart will be 3rd with Justin White. He'll be 4th. You got Christopher Blanchard. He'll be 5th with Lothian 6th. Jason Morales, who was up in that top lane helping White and Parsons advance at the end of the stage, he will be 7th with Joey Doucette, the Joker, in 8th. Jose Luis Rivera 9th, and Kevin D'Elia will be the 10th guy. But well, I have to say this real quick. I disagree with one thing that Hunter Parsons said just a second ago. If I heard him correctly, he said that announcing, I guess you could say it was, I thought he said announcing super speedway races isn't fun. I disagree with that 100% because I'm telling you right now, we have seen some serious racing the first 20 laps, and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in the last 80 laps as Parsons gets a huge jump with Justin White going across the stripe. Wow, Merck going to have to try to see if he can file up as they go into turn number 1.
We'll watch as those Goodyear Eagles get warmed up on the racetrack as the entire field headed down pit road. And we'll watch also if that cold equipment makes way for our first caution flag of the night. As still, oh my goodness, as things got very, very hairy off of 2 there. That puts Jacob Klinkert on the top side of the racetrack. See if he can form up a line as we head into 3 and 4.
Merck going to see if he can jump back up top, get something going. He has no help. Klinkart with Lothian up on the top side. Merck slipping back very fast, but now here comes Christopher Blanchard. Tries to jump up in front of Jeff Merck, maybe try to advance in this middle lane. Hunter Parsons still has the lead. Justin White right behind him, and Jason Morales. All 3 of these guys was up top at the end of the last stage. Now they're down on the bottom as they're 3 wide going into turn number 1.
Well, absolutely wasting no time here at Sweet Home Talladega. Chris Blanchard is in the danger zone lane. He has a good buddy behind him, though. Cal Naughton look like Jeff Merck's going to push him down the middle side lane. Chris Blanchard's not going to like it, though. As we're down the backside, Jacob Klinkart on that top side lane. Huge run being pushed by the 43 truck of Blake Lothian into 3 and 4. Jacob Klinkart, though, is going to slide down the racetrack, Jake, as we have a new center line. But still, Hunter Parsons, our race leader, off of 4.
Yeah, I mean, that top side really needed everything that they could get right there, but they may be able to get it back as Klinkart jumps back up there. Parsons still down on the bottom. Here comes Blanchard. Huge shove from the rookie, Jeff Merck, up in the middle lane. Blanchard's going to get clear, but is Merck going to be able to try to even find a way to try to get down? No, he will not. Parsons advances down on the bottom side. Justin White giving him the push. Now Clinkart still trying to figure out a way. He is not content running in this middle lane. Lothian isn't neither, as they're going to make a run on the top side.
What a run, though, out of the 9 machine of Chris Blanchard, who is in that middle lane. He is holding it down, being pushed along by Jeff Mark, just keeping his composure, keeping it cool. As we come around 3 and 4, we are 3 by 3 by 3 at the top side of the grid. Anybody's race as we come down the front stretch here. Lead goes to anybody here right now. Hunter Parsons is going to take this one, but we're 3 by 3 into 1.
Blanchard led that lap by 4 1/1000ths of a second over Hunter Parsons and Jacob Clinkart. That's how tight the racing is getting here, and we're not even halfway. Parsons down on the bottom. Blanchard stuck still in the middle, still getting the help from Jeff Merck. And up top, Clinkart still getting the shove from Blake Lothian. Now Kevin D'Elia also up here in this with Jose Luis Rivera up here in this top side. All of them trying to see if they can find a way to get around Hunter Parsons.
Yeah, just trying to make their way through this traffic as we're still 3 by 3 off of the corner. They're keeping it cool here. And listen to Hunter Parsons after winning that stage. Watch out for the caution flags. No cautions yet here tonight in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250 as we're still 3 by 3 for the race lead into 1 and 2. Christopher Blanchard is in that middle. Jacob Clinkart leads the charge on that top side, and Hunter Parsons on the low sides being pushed along by Justin White as there's no separation off the corner here down the backstretch.
And what is blowing my mind, Will, is these two in the middle, Blanchard and Merck, are able to make it work with just both of them, as both of them able to keep it up front, if you will. Clinkart up top. Now Merck tries to see if he can get going. Blanchard's going to jump down. He's going to hang Merck completely out to dry. Now Merck stuck in the middle. Merck's going to slip back, all the way back, if he is not careful and cannot find a hole. But up front, the top is way more organized as Jacob Clinkart getting the shove from Blake Lothian. Clinkart will lead this lap as now Blanchard jumps back up to try to help Jeff Merck as they go into 1.
Yeah, Jeff Merck was like Forrest Gump on the school bus. Everybody saying this seat's taken, until he found Jenny, who said you can sit here if you want. As right now, Christopher Blanchard will take us off of the corner. He'll take Jeff Merck with him as our new race leader. Christopher Blanchard, though, slides to the middle side of the racetrack. He'll find a new buddy in Jacob Clinkart into 3 and 4 as Hunter Parsons is going to link up with Jeff Merck on that low side of the racetrack. Christopher Blanchard has separation in 3 and 4. Will he be our race leader at the line as the top side is now building up once again as we come down the front stretch?
Yep, and that is led by Kevin D'Elia up top, getting the shove from Jose Luis Rivera in that number 20 entry. And Zach Hartwig, we haven't talked about him all race here. He is jumping up in the middle of this as well on the top side. D'Elia still up top. Jose Luis Rivera trying to push. Blanchard stuck in the middle, and Jeff Merck down on the bottom, able to barely clear himself over Christopher Blanchard as the middle lane starts to stack up. That might open the door for Kevin D'Elia and Jose Luis Rivera as they go into turn number 3.
Jeff Merck, though, being pushed in the middle lane by Christopher Blanchard, the top side being led by the 53 machine. Our pole sitter, Kevin D'Elia, who faded just a little bit in this race, finds himself, though, back up at the top of the grid. Everybody just shaking, moving, keeping it cool here off of 4 down the front stretch. Jeff Merck is looking like he'll lead this lap, though no separation at the top as Kevin D'Elia makes contact with the 60 across the start-finish line. A little bit of a throwing elbow is the top of the grid, Jake.
Yeah, and D'Elia may have lost a little bit of momentum, and so did Merck, because here comes Hunter Parsons back down on the bottom side with Justin White trying to push him. But Merck, now he gets it gathered back up. Blanchard stuck right up his tailgate. Jose Luis Rivera up D'Elia's tailgate as well as Merck, even though he got elbowed, still has the lead with Blanchard shoving him into turn number 3.
Yeah, Christopher Blanchard going to ride on board with that 9 machine, who finds himself behind the 60 of Jeff Merck, who right now finds himself all by himself. Nobody to the left, nobody to the right. He is Mr. Kid Cudi solo dolo, all by himself up at the top of the grid. He'll lead this lap with no competition heading into 1 and 2, counting down the laps in stage number 2, counting down the lap till the halfway point. Been a very frantic horse-style race so far here tonight, Jake, as we're right on board with the two machine, Justin White.
And Justin White going to come up and give Hunter Parsons a little love tap going off of turn number 2 in the middle of the backstretch. And just as I was fixing to say the outside lane was gone, it has reformed and it is back. D'Elia, Merck, Parsons, 3 wide going into turn 3 with Merck stuck in the middle. Now D'Elia is going to slip back ever so slightly. And wow, 2 wide now back at the front with Merck and Hunter Parsons. These guys are racing like it is the last lap, Will.
They have been since the drop of the green flag. They don't care that it's lap 32. They don't care that we have a lot more laps to go here. They just care about getting to the top of the grid. And here comes Kevin D'Elia in that 53 machine. Our pole sitter wants to get back up in the penthouse position. He said that view looks nice from the balcony, but he has to put in some work to get there. Slides back just a little bit on that top side lane as Jeff Merck, Hunter Parsons will battle it out for the lead into 3 and 4.
And here comes Kevin D'Elia trying to mount a charge with Jose Luis Rivera on the top side, not able to do it. Only 3 trucks up top. Wow, very, very discombobulated on that top side as now it's going to be 2 wide. Merck, Hunter Parsons trying to fight it out. And now Clinkhart, he's going to take an advantage. He's going to jump to the top. 3 wide, back for about the 3rd spot, wide on the bottom. Blanchard stuck in the middle with Clinkhart up top, trying to see if he can advance this outside lane.
Yeah, things got a little touchy-feely up there, Jake. You saw it coming off of the corner. Trucks got a little squirrely. Jacob Clinkhart had to find a lane to go as well. And I think there's a little bit of a nervousness building up here, a little bit of anxiety as right there you see it again coming off of 2 drivers now, just getting a little anxious, a little bit curious on which lines to pick.
Yeah, they're just trying to figure out what lane they can get to try to get around this 25 and this 60 because Parsons, or 15, excuse me, that's Hunter Parsons. Parsons still down on the bottom of the racetrack. Merck still up in the middle lane. Here comes Clinkhart with D'Elia getting a huge shove 3 wide as they hit the tri-oval. Clinkhart looks like he may lead this lap once again, but not without the help of Kevin D'Elia and Jose Luis Rivera. Now 4 trucks, basically 4-car tandeming going into turn number 1.
Absolute gem of a race to this point. 35 laps in, no caution flags at Sweet Home Talladega. We've had lead change after lead change. Seems like every point in the race we have a lead change, but here comes Jeff Merck up the middle lane being pushed along by Christopher Blanchard, but Jacob Clinkhart wants to make it known he's there as well. Again, as we're building Lincoln logs here, 3 by 3 by 3 again into 3 and 4.
Clinkhart still trying to keep this top side, does not want to try to leave Kevin D'Elia, who has got him to this point. Merck still has not left Christopher Blanchard, and Parsons has had that number 2 up his tailgate ever since the drop of the green flag here in stage 2, even at the end of stage number 1. Justin White shoved him to that stage win, but Clinkhart up top with D'Elia, they will advance. Now the middle lane and the bottom, they jump back down on it as Parsons has the lead, but just by inches over Jeff Merck.
And folks, as we come off corner number 4 here, if you don't see your favorite driver in this mix, don't fret. They still have a chance in this race. Really anybody's checkered flag to this point down the backstretch here at Sweet Home Talladega. We are airlocked so tight up at the top, Jake. Nobody can afford any sort of mistake. As look at that beautiful shot here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network as the field comes roaring down the front stretch.
Parsons down on the bottom, Merck stuck in the middle, Clinkhart back up top. Same song, same race, different lap, if you will. Clinkhart still up top, gets the help from D'Elia. Now back down into the middle and the bottom lane is Merck trying to side draft, trying to see if he can pull Hunter Parsons back. Maybe get 100% clear all the way around, but here comes Clinkhart. Clinkhart gets a run, D'Elia shoving him going down into turn number 3. Clinkart has it for just this moment, but now back to the bottom. Parsons advances.
Clinkart wants a victory. Jeff Merck wants to get back to victory lane. Hunter Parsons wants to get there as well. All three guys have been inside the top 5 all race long as we creep up towards that halfway point coming off of corner number 4 here. Hunter Parsons will lead another lap. That's another battle, Jake, that we have to watch out for. Who leads the most laps here is Jeff Merck, Hunter Parsons, side by side, no one.
And Lothian just made a hole back there, almost took out Jacob Clinkart, but able to keep it, everybody able to keep it straight. Clinkart on the top. Now they're starting to fall back, but he's going to see if he can get some kind of a slingshot off of Lothian and maybe try to get back on the top side. He does. Lothian jumps up top as well, as now Lothian and Clinkart, now they've hooked up on this top side. And I'm telling you, this middle lane, all that's there is Jeff Merck and Christopher Blanchard. How in the world is both of those guys doing it with just them in that middle lane? But they are making it work here at Talladega as Parsons down on the bottom, Merck in the middle. Lothian trying to come up on the top side as they hit the line on lap 40 with 11 laps to go in the stage.
It's just beautiful. I don't think Mr. Bobby Ross could paint a masterpiece like what we've seen here tonight at Talladega as Hunter Parsons, Jeff Merck come racing off of to their side by side for the race lead. Christopher Blanchard, Justin White right there, but here he comes Mr. Blake Lothian in that 43 machine. He's being pushed along by Jacob Clinkart on the top side of the racetrack. Jake, we can't call a leader because there's a leader every second of this race as there was almost disastrous contact off of 4.
Absolutely, and folks, it is 7 laps to go. Now 6 to go when they take the line right here as Parsons and Merck almost got jumbled up, if you will. But Lothian and Clinkart really making this top lane work, just both of them up there by themselves, trying to see if they can advance and get up here and mix it up with Merck and Parsons. But I'm telling you, Merck and Parsons, they've been side drafting each other so hard, they door checked one another in the tri-oval just a minute ago. All sorts of hard racing going on. It's now Lothian and Clinkart. They advance on the top side.
I gotta say, folks, here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, I love a race like this. You can throw statistics out the window, Jake. You can throw lap times out the window. You can throw all the papers out the window. In a race like this, you just watch what's happening on the screen, or you listen along with us here. Because at a race like this, it's so airtight and so close together. It's anybody's race. But Jeff Merck will take us across the line into 1 and 2.
And well, I will agree with you. This is my favorite type of racing, my favorite type of track, and I'm happy to be here watching this awesome racing right here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series. They come off of turn 2. Merck still in the middle, still got Blanchard with him. Now Jose Luis Rivera making a move on the top side. Lothian up his tailgate as Rivera is clear. Lothian is not. But Jose Luis Rivera came out of absolutely nowhere, shot out like a rocket on this top side. He has jumped into the conversation of winning here in stage number 2.
And Jake, he surprised me more than a wave at the wave pool at the water park. He just came out of nowhere there on the top side. Lost that momentum, though, just a little bit. Has to regain that composure on the top side lane. Has some dogs to work with up there, though. And Blake Lothian and Jacob Clinkart, they'll do something if they keep together. 4 laps to go here in stage number 2 as Hunter Parsons leads the way on the inside off the corner.
Hunter Parsons still has it on the bottom. Justin White has not left his tailgate. Now the Joker, Joey Doucette, trying to help this inside lane advance. But Jose Luis Rivera, he is clear. Lothian is clear. Lothian takes a shot down to the bottom of the racetrack. Now Jose Luis Rivera, he's going to jump in front of Jeff Merck. Leave Clinkart up on the top side with Kevin D'Elia as Lothian made a huge move going into turn number 3, and that got him the lead. But here comes Rivera with help from Jeff Merck as Jose Luis Rivera. Now they go 3 wide. Merck sticks it in the middle. Wow, hard racing right here with 3 laps to go here in this stage.
And folks, usually our producer Adam Fleeger does a great job of going through the field looking at battles, but we can't stay away from the top of the grid. It's so airtight up there. Action after action, lap after lap. We don't know who's going to advance out of that as we check in with the second part of the race. Jake, that top side of the grid just continues to battle it out. And there's Jose Luis Rivera on the top side. He's being pushed by Jacob Klinkert in the 5s. We come off of 4. The battle, oh my goodness, so close there, Jake, off of 4.
Klinkert shoving Jose Luis Rivera for all that number 5 has. Merckx still stuck in the middle. Lothian, who put himself down there on the bottom, he is still down there. Now Jose Luis Rivera helping Klinkert out. Here comes Merckx. Merckx comes up, gives Jose Luis Rivera a shot. Rivera goes up, tries to make the block. Here comes Lothian down on the bottom.
Ooh, watch out, Jake, as we come off of 2. That had to go in just right as Jose Luis Rivera threw that tail in front of the 60 of Jeff Merck. Now Jeff Merck gets pushed by the 9 machine of Chris Blanchard heading into 3 and 4. Blake Lothian now links up with the 20 of Jose Luis Rivera. Meanwhile, on the top side of the racetrack, Jacob Klinkert, Kevin D'Elia. As we come off of 3 and 4, they'll get the 1 to go here in stage number 2 as the field comes rumbling down the front stretch.
Merckx still stuck in the middle. Rivera down on the bottom. Here comes Klinkert as they take the white flag for the stage. And Merckx is still in the middle. Here goes Klinkert. He's got D'Elia up top. Rivera and Merckx almost door check one another going into turn 1. Everybody keep it together. Do not cause a big one.
Ooh.
But that's what a lot of these drivers are thinking is here comes Merckx. He gets a shove. Blanchard shoves him with help from Jason Morales in the middle lane as Klinkert starting to slip back, and Jose Rivera is starting to slip back just as well.
It's like somebody just flipped the switch of the jacuzzi. You're starting to see the bubbles percolate in the tub. Watch out! No! Keep it together! As Jose Luis Rivera hits the apron there. Everybody kept it cool as it looks like Jeff Merck will cruise his way to a stage number 2 victory here in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250.
Wow, I mean, that's how quick that it can change just like that. Jose Luis Rivera led coming to the white flag here in this one. He is not. He is going to be 16th. That's how quick he dropped back. Wow, I mean, hard, tight racing, if you will, when they went into turn number 3. Rivera looked like he was in prime position, maybe slid up just a little bit into Blanchard, and that's what stacked that whole bottom side up. Everybody able to keep their truck straight. But wow, hard racing in turn 3, and Jeff Merck able to snatch that stage 2 win.
Yeah, let's check out those stage 2 results here now. Chris Blanchard gets that stage win. Actually, is being registered at the top of the grid. Looks like scoring is a bit off, but what a stage win for Jeff Merck there in that 60 right at the line. And man, what a stage that was. And I think it's just going to be an indication of what we see the entire rest of this race.
Absolutely, and for the stage results, it was Merck that got it. Blanchard gets second. Jason Morales, he gets third. Justin White able to get fourth. Klinkert, he will hold on with all that top side moving that he had with Kevin D'Elia, still gets fifth, and D'Elia will get sixth. Kyle Hess seventh. Joey Doucette eighth. Adam Newton ninth, and Stephen Thomas gets that final stage point to end stage number 2. But I'm telling you, folks, it's going to get even crazier in turn 3. The blocks, the runs, all of it's going to get way more aggressive here at Talladega.
Just watch your favorite drivers head down pit road now here at the end of stage number 2. We'll see who can win this battle, as we've seen all these battles raging on all race long here in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250. And Jake, I don't think we could have asked for more. I love races like this. Been a lot of short track calls here at Nazareth, road course racing, and to hit a high bank racetrack, it just brings out the excitement we feel in racing.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like I said earlier, I mean, this is my favorite type of racing, if you will. I mean, you just can't describe it any better. I mean, I know there's some people, they may sit there and go, oh, well, it doesn't take any skill. Yes, it does. It takes skill to be able to block the run. It takes skill to be able to know when you can use a run to be able to slingshot to try to get around drivers. It takes skill to miss the big one, which we haven't saw yet, Will. And hopefully we do not see it. That would definitely shake up some playoff standings. That would shake up, well, not playoff standings, but season standings, all that stuff. The big one could shake it all up. But we haven't seen it yet. But it does take skill to be able to miss those big ones as well.
As Jeff Merck will win that race off of pit road, he'll have Jason Morales behind him here on the restart. We'll step aside for our first break of the evening here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. We'll be right back in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250. Welcome back to the Nazareth 360 Racing Network here in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250. We just out of Jeff Merck, and it's been a crazy race so far. My name is William Tiller. Here tonight I'm joined by Jake Reeves, and Adam Fleeger is the man up here in the booth. And Jake, we get to see the second half of this race. We were just talking off air here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. And what we're going to see in the second half of the race, I think we're going to see that first yellow flag here pretty soon.
I think so, honestly. I mean, I really think, that the aggression's going to pick up. I mean, we've seen it in previous races. We've seen the aggression just straight up, slap up, pick up, if you will. I mean, Will, if you think back to the Monday night series for the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series on Monday night, they had an absolute barn burner when they went to Talladega earlier on in their season. Had a crash right at the last lap coming to the white flag, and all hell broke loose. And wow, that was a great finish. But here we go, green flag back in the air. Jason Morales has the lead with Justin White down on the bottom side as they go off into turn number one.
Yeah, as we were off air there, Jeff Merck decided to head down pit road to top off that gas tank. That opened the door for a new race leader, Jason Morales on the inside. Usually he has those diehard fans watching along with us here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. They've got to be cheering. They've got to be jumping up and down, and he's leading this race. But Kevin DeLear, our pole sitter, as I mentioned, wants to get back up to the pit house position, trying to do that here into 3 and 4. Has Blake Lothian pushing as much as he can around the corner.
He is doing all he can to try to help Kevin DeLear get up here, take hold of this race. Started on the outside of the front row, that being the 53 of Kevin DeLear, but DeLear still gets the shove from Lothian. Morales gets the shot from Justin White. Clinkart back in the weeds, led and waiting as here comes some drivers. Parsons, we saw him stage 1 winner up here trying to get moving, and check it out. The 00 of Huck Wigington. Where in the world did he come from up here inside the top 10?
You also look at Adam Newton as well in that 82 machine. The DSR electric truck has been moving up the NASRA power rankings in every series. But here comes Blake Lothian on the top side of the racetrack. He'll take another guy we haven't called out here a lot. Chris Cinnamon in that 3 on the top side of the racetrack trying to build something up. Meanwhile, Jason Morales on the low side of the racetrack being pushed along by Justin White. Can they lead the lap? They will as it continues to stay green into 1 and 2.
And another driver that we haven't talked about all race long is that number 18 of Justin Lumpkin. Started 23rd up to 6th now. He's the 4th car down on the bottom lane right behind Adam Newton. So good run for Justin Lumpkin to squeeze himself back up here inside the top 5 with that 18 entry. But Jason Morales still has the lead as Chris Cinnamon trying to see if he can get Jeff Merck to shove him up to the front as they go into 3.
Jason Morales continues to lead into 3 and 4. That one machine has been lingering inside the top 5 the majority of tonight's race. Meanwhile, on the top side of the racetrack, we find Chris Cinnamon being pushed along by Jeff Merck, who just got that stage victory, but as mentioned, decided to go down pit road again to get a little bit more fuel. But across that start-finish line, it will be Jason Morales leading another lap as Chris Cinnamon has a run into 1 and 2. Our new race leader, another race lead change, that is, into the corner, but that goes back to Jason Morales as we're side-by-side off of 2 down the backstretch.
Cinnamon trying to get the run on the top with Jeff Merck, seeing if they can advance this top lane, and Blake Lothian has checked in with them and trying to get rolling, if you will, on this top side. Jose Luis Rivera also up top as well. Morales, Cinnamon side by side as they go off of turn number 4 as Morales edges ahead.
Sweet home Talladega is giving us everything here tonight as we come off of the corner. No caution flag so far here in this race. Everybody's jockeying for positions. We've had multiple lead changes, different leaders, battles for the lead raging on. And, checking in with the second half of the race here, looking at Dana Shepard in this mix, looking at Michael McKinnon in that 13. And to shout out the 13 machine of Michael McKinnon, he was our Hard Luck Award winner from last week's race. Of course, that's sponsored by Fleeger Farm Paint Shop, and had some hard luck last week. It's sort of lingering this week here in this race.
And Jason Morales actually slipped down. Good run right there for Michael McKinnon, the way you was talking. But Jason Morales, he slips down on the bottom side. Did not like something that was going on up there in the top, up there at the front. So Morales, he's going to slip back just a little bit. Here comes Jeff Merck. He has the lead with help from Jose Luis Rivera in that number 20. Blake Lothian now trying to get going on the top side. Here comes Rivera. He jumps up in front of Lothian as they're going to try to take a shot going around as we got a wreck in the back.
Oh, goodness, Christopher Blanchard just nosedives into the top side wall. Our first caution flag of the evening. It came out of nowhere as we check out the on the pole instant replay here. Wow, Jake, I don't know how to explain what sent the 9 into the wall. We saw some close battling up there at the top side of the grid, but we'll have to watch it here into 3 and 4. What happens here?
Yeah, I mean, they're going into 1 and 2 right here after they just went into, they just crossed the stripe, and here they come. Blanchard tried to find a hole, and there was a hole there, but a little bit of netcode maybe got him and Bullock connected a little bit. That's a 17 of Brandon Bullock that's going to get involved in this. And then after that, Bullock tried to straighten the truck out, came down just a little bit, got in the right rear of Blanchard, and straight up set Blanchard straight into the fence. Blanchard very, very dominant in this race here this evening. It looks like he's going to end up on the tow truck here at Talladega.
And that's just heartbreaking there for the 9 machine. Chris Blanchard probably arguably had one of his best runs going he's had in a long time. And you see that 9 machine just unfortunately a little bit of an iRacing incident, as Jake was explaining. And what that means, folks, is that sometimes iRacing initiates contact when there wasn't contact. And you see it right there in that overhead point of view on the Nazareth 360 Racing and network of what happens there between the 9 and the 17. And unfortunately, it looks like, Jake, for both trucks, I could see the 17 really getting out and complete some more laps, but for the 9 machine, this might be the end of his race.
Yeah, I mean, he was smoking basically when he hit the back stretch. He was just straight up smoking. As I'm sitting there watching him in the pits, he was smoking very, very profusely. Bullock, he actually looked like he might have got away, as you mentioned, unscathed from basically what he had. I mean, he's going to have some damage involved. But looks like he's going to be able to squeak away way better than Blanchard was, obviously. But I'm telling you right now, I mean, that was a hard lick that Blanchard got, and he's probably going to be done. But check it out. Looks like Kyle Hess, he is going to stay out. He's the only driver to stay out on the racetrack right here.
Yeah, Kyle Hess, the only driver out on the racetrack as the field elects to head down pit road here under caution. But as you see, our pace truck is doing gymnastics on the racetrack here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. And Jake, with that caution flag, it gives us an opportunity to catch up with our stage number 2 winner, Jeff Merck. I believe you're catching up with him now.
Yeah, Jeff Merck, this is Jake Reeves. You got a copy, buddy?
I do, Jake. What's up, bud?
I'm just hanging out and watching y'all fly around Talladega Superspeedway here tonight. And I'm telling you right now, bud, y'all have put on a hell of a show tonight. But, you know, just, I mean, tell me about this, you know, this racing that y'all got going on right here, because you would think, you know, everybody would want to kind of single file it up, I guess you could say, until the last couple laps of the stage and then mix it up. But, I mean, y'all been 3 wide from the drop of the green flag. Just tell us about this hard racing that y'all got going on out here.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty wild. I'm surprised that we're racing as hard as we are, but hey, you know, it's white knuckle racing. I'll give them that. I mean, a lot of side drafting. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I see that, but I mean, now you find yourself up front, right in the second spot, right behind Kyle Hess. What's it gonna take to put that 60 in victory lane and get you another win this season?
A lot of luck. Teammates. I got a couple teammates in here. Hopefully we can all get hooked up here at the end, and you're gonna have to have somebody behind you pushing.
Absolutely. Well, Jeff, winning the stage 2, we'll give you a shout, or we'll give you a chance to go ahead and give your shout outs out before you go back to green.
Yeah, my loving wife, hopefully she's in there watching. We're trying to put on a show here on Nashville 360 network here. So just right now, just a big shout out to my loving wife inside. Hope she's enjoying the show.
Absolutely, and I'm sure she is loving the show as much as we are, Jeff. Good luck right here in the final laps of this race, bud.
All right, guys, appreciate it.
And that was Jeff Merck, and I mean, well, you know, I gotta say, you know, he said basically the same thing. What's it gonna take here at Talladega to get the win? He said the same exact thing that Hunter Parsons said, and it's luck. And he sounded like he might have been a little bit nervous under his voice from what it sounded like.
No, it's going to be definitely a nerve-wracking finish to the end. I know Kyle Hess is going to be very nervous on this restart. He's going to feel, well, it probably feels like a jet plane coming at him with the amount of speed that's going to be generated with that fresh equipment. And, you know, one thing that you kind of spoke about off air, Jake, are some of these sleepers in this race. And go along with sleepers, there's some guys now inside the top 10. You know, you're looking at Chris Cinnamon. I mentioned him in that 3. The 81 of Taylor Peacock is now in the fight. Justin Lumpkin is in the 10th spot. Dana Shepard in that 45. He's up to 11th. So some sleepers now rising to the top of this grid here with 50 laps to go.
Absolutely, but you mentioned one of those guys that I wouldn't necessarily call a sleeper, and that would be the 81 of Taylor Peacock. We've seen what that 81 can do at super speedways. We saw what he did at Daytona. We saw what he could do or we've seen in the past what he can do here at Talladega. So do not count out that 81. I think he was just laying back, waiting for his opportunity to get up here and pounce here at Talladega. Now he's going to restart in the ninth position eighth, excuse me, up on the top side. So watch out for that 81 right here in the final laps of this race.
As Kyle Hess, Jeff Mark will take the field into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is in the air in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250 as Kyle Hess takes the field into 1 and 2.
Here comes Jeff Mark. We talked to him just a second ago. We'll see if he can get this top lane rolling. D'Elia up there with him. But here comes Blake Lothian down on the bottom side trying to push Jose Luis Rivera up to Kyle Hess. Top lane really starting to make some moves, and they're getting the momentum going. As here comes Merck, here comes D'Elia, Cinnamon, Peacock, everybody bobbing and weaving right in the middle of the Alabama Gang super stretch.
It's like everybody wants to play in the sandbox, but there's not enough toys. You see everybody is getting a little anxious at the top of the grid. Kevin D'Elia, our pole sitter, hasn't been up there since that point where he held that pole spot. Jeff Merck has been up there. Kyle Hess has been up there as well on the low side of the racetrack. He'll hold up traffic, though, as we have the second line and third lines building for a battle for the lead into 1 and 2. Still green flag racing.
And Jose Luis Rivera kicked Kyle Hess to the curb as D'Elia is going to slip back to the back. Wow, just barely able for Jose Luis Rivera to jump up there in front of Jeff Merck, and he was able to do it. So Jose Luis Rivera, he will get the lead. They're coming up on a lap truck that is Brandon Bullock. He will go to the top. He will give way to the leaders down on the bottom. But Jose Luis Rivera has the lead and is getting an absolute shove from the rookie, Jeff Merck.
As you hear chants of Jose, 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 as he leads the field off for Jose Luis Rivera, would love nothing else to claim the sweet home Alabama high bank as he leads the lap into 1 and 2. The Tweety machine is leading the field.
And Merck is shoving him for all he's got. Kyle Hess down on the bottom trying to get Lothian, I believe that is, to push him, and it is. Here comes Lothian. He's going to get up there, give him a shot. Watch out for Adam Newton. He's down there along with Justin Lumpkin following in tow as Jeff Merck still trying to find a way to get Jose Luis Rivera and him clear. Cinnamon behind them, as well as Taylor Peacock right behind them, and Eric Zimmerman in tow as well.
Can't give an inch, just as Paul Walker and Vin Diesel spoke about whether you win by an inch or a mile. It just matters whether or not you can take that pink slip. We're not racing for pink slips. We're racing for checkered flags here tonight as Blake Lothian will be our new race leader across that start-finish line. He cruises back up to the top side lane where he'll find his best buddy Jeff Merck on the top side of the racetrack. That will open the door, though, for Jose Luis Rivera in that 20 to be our new race leader off of 2 as he jumps up to the top side lane, realizes it's a bit faster there with Blake Lothian. It is getting crazy into 3 and 4.
Very aggressive moves by both Jose Luis Rivera and Blake Lothian at the same time at the start-finish line. Now Rivera jumps up there. Now he's going to try to work with him once again. But on the bottom side, Kyle Hess has been able to hang up here with these guys in this lead pack as Lothian shoves Jose Luis Rivera. Gets him clear. We'll see if Lothian drops down to the bottom or not. No, they will not, as the top 3 actually clear themselves from Hess. Now Merck jumps down to the bottom.
What is going to happen in this race? Lap 62 of the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250 has been an absolute frantic start to this race all the way through. As you see a huge wiggle out of the top side of the grid, Jake. Maybe these trucks getting a tad bit loose on this run.
I think it is, and I think it's actually some of the aggressive pushes that some of these guys might be getting that's making them bob and weave and getting stacked up as the bottom lane stacks up very hard down there with Jeff Merck as the top side was able to advance big time up there. Wow, hard pushing by all of these guys. Here comes Taylor Peacock. Here comes Chris Cinnamon. They're going to make a shot. Lothian down to the bottom. Jose Luis Rivera stuck in the middle all by himself. Cinnamon and Peacock up here, and Robbie Richards in the 48. Where did he come from?
Just like the New York Jets had no choice, they had to play Zach Wilson. Chris Cinnamon and Taylor Peacock had no choice but to take the top side lane to the top of the grid as the three machine of Chris Cinnamon takes us down that back stretch. Blake Lothian there. Now you see a new top side lane being formed. There's battles all over the place. Here comes the 48 machine, Robbie Richards on the top side of the racetrack. Around 3 and 4, we are 3 wide for the lead off of 4.
Cinnamon on the bottom. Rivera stuck in the middle, and here comes Robbie Richards in the 48 trying to get going. We haven't talked about him all race long. Started 25th up to the top 3, if you will, and he's still getting help from Kyle Hess right behind him. Hard racing by every single one of these guys, but Cinnamon able to advance with Taylor Peacock down on the bottom as Richards and Kyle Hess almost get
Things are a little testy up there, Jake, as Kyle Hess and you see Robbie Richards. They almost bounced off that topside wall as you're starting to see some creepers, jeepers creepers here in this race. Bradle above in that 24. He's sliding up the grid just a little bit, putting himself in this mix. You're starting to see some guys slide against you, and Kevin D'Elia all the way down to 13th. Jake, as we come off of 4, Chris Cinnamon leading the way.
Cinnamon still got it. Peacock still trying to shove him. And here comes Jeff Merck with Jose Luis Rivera in the middle lane trying to keep it going. And Robbie Richards, who was almost in the fence in the last lap. Now here he comes up here. He's going to try to get up here and give Jose Luis Rivera a shot as Merck jumps down to the bottom in front of Cinnamon. And that might be the lane he wants, or maybe not. Here comes Rivera. He's going to get a run in the middle lane.
Jose, as again, he's leading a hard charge in the middle of the racetrack. We'll check in back here with some guys that are lingering on the low side, waiting for the big one to happen here at Talladega, as Jeff Merck and Jose Luis Rivera still side by side for the lead off of 4.
Merck able to get a little advantage. Cinnamon shoved him out there. Now Rivera wants Richards to shove him and give him that same thing that Cinnamon give to Merck. Here they come. Rivera up to his door. Richards up to Cinnamon's door. Here comes Kyle Hess up to the 81's door. Outside lane starting to form up even better as Merck still got it. Here comes Rivera. Comes down side drafts on Merck, trying to see if they can advance this top side as they're getting more and more takers on this top side.
And it's getting a little bit more sketchy coming off the corners as well, Jake. I'm watching it lap after lap. These guys are getting a little bit more uncomfortable with one another. We've seen a lot of 3-wide racing, 3x3 racing as we come around 3 and 4 here. But drivers, you know, are counting down the laps. Are creeping up to only 30 to go here from Talladega. It's getting to be crunch time as Jose Luis Rivera and Jeff Merck will take us across the start-finish line into 1. The battle rages on for the lead.
Richards still trying to shove Rivera. Hess right in tow. Merck trying to hold on with Chris Cinnamon and Taylor Peacock in tow. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 all the way through the field as far as we can count. But here comes Rivera. Gets the shot. Richards shoves him. Here comes Kyle Hess. He's going to try to come up and keep the momentum going. But Merck and Cinnamon able to keep better momentum with Peacock all the way up their tailgates as they go into 3.
When you watch Jose Luis Rivera, he's drifting just a little bit in that middle lane. You have to stay composed. You have to keep that thing straight or else disaster will strike. As we watch the field come across the straightaway here at Talladega, lap 68 is official now as we head into 1 and 2. Robbie Richards is pushing Jose Luis Rivera in the middle lane when he goes to the top side of the racetrack into 1 and 2. He's going to lose the 20 machine all by himself here. Jenkins would come off of 2. Things getting very squirrely in the field.
Yep, Richards jumped up there, tried to pick up Zach Hardwick. Now Hardwick actually gets into the fence just a little bit. Richards, he's got Kyle Hess stuck in front of him. And Jose Luis Rivera, who was up front battling for the lead, has slipped back to about the 6th spot. That's how quick, like I said, folks, you can slip back here in Nazareth here at Talladega. But now Lothian, he jumps up in the middle trying to get it going right here in the middle lane. But Mert, Cinnamon, Peacock, Newton, they are the top 4 as here comes Lothian up on the middle lane trying to get something going. And who else is pushing him? It's Jose Luis Rivera in the number 20.
Yeah, well, I'm starting to see, though, Jake, guys getting a little bit desperate on the racetrack, starting to realize only about 31 laps to go that you have to grasp onto these positions. You have to hold on. You're going to do whatever you have to keep those spots. As you see the 13 machine of Michael McKinnon, he has come out of nowhere, up 25 spots on the drop of the green flag. He is just keeping his cool. Now finds himself inside of that front pack.
The Hard Luck Award winner from Rockingham is up here trying to battle it out with these guys for the win here at Talladega. Michael McKinnon up on the top side trying to get to Rivera, trying to get to Lothian, trying to get to all of them. See if he can slide up here and check it out. Here comes Eric Zimmerman. He's going to get up here. Hess is going to get up here. The outside lane's starting to form up. This might be trouble for Jeff Merck and Chris Cinnamon down on the bottom.
As you watch Chris Cinnamon lead that charge on the top side of the racetrack, Jake, we've just hit lap 70. Last time down pit road for the majority of the field was lap 55. When do you imagine to see this field heading down again?
I say that they're going to probably split it. Whenever we started back after Blanchard and Bullock got in their accident, I'm sure that, I mean, in that range, that's what that they're looking at. I think they're going to split it. And to be honest with you, if they go down and they get anything, they're probably going to get maybe 2 tires or maybe just get fuel and just get enough to get to the end of this race. That is exactly what's in these guys' mind. But that that pit window, it is open right now. They can pit from here and make it to the end. It's just who you can match up with and who's going to find what friends to be able to get to the end right here.
You talk about friends. Eric Zimmerman has found himself a Michael Jordan of friends. He has found the one and only animal. Keith Bradley is now in the mix on the top side of the racetrack. Finds himself inside of the top 10. A man who has absolutely dominated this season in the concerns of police survivors. Truck Series trying to get another checkered flag here tonight, Jake, as he's on the top side lane.
You got some guys look like they're jumping into the pits. Look like that was Adam Newton that jumps in. Lumpkin jumps in. They go down pit road. These are scheduled pit stops.
It's going to be tough.
They are going down, but it's going to be tough with the amount of drivers that is in that pack. Newton, one of them. Lumpkin, one of them. And Stephen Thomas, those are the 3 that ducked out. Well, we see it's going to be waves, Will, like we talk about all the time. You're going to have waves of drivers going down into the pits to go ahead and get fuel to be able to make it to the end. As everybody's squirrely back there, as you see everybody trying to jump to the bottom, we may see a big pile of trucks go into the pits right here.
Yeah, Jake, I was just about to ask you how tight this race has been. Do you follow the leader, or do you stick to your own strategy here in this race?
It depends on how many friends you got, but I'll say this, here comes the friends. Lothian got them all, bringing a bunch of them, almost the whole field coming down. Peacock coming with them. Lothian comes down. I believe that's Jeff Merck back there as well. I am damn near the entire field, Will, going down and making a pit stop right here.
Yeah, Chris Cinnamon is in that group. Kyle Hess is in that group. Brady LaBeouf is in that group. Eric Zimmerman, Blake Lothian, Keith Bradley down pit road. Raul Meza down pit road. Bunch of trucks down. Still drivers out on the racetrack, though. New race leader, Jose Luis Rivera. Gainer Shepard still out. Kevin D'Elia still out. Jacob Plinkart still out. Hunter Parsons still out. Justin White still out. Jason Rouse still out. And Huck Whittington still out on that old equipment here on lap 73. Jose Luis Rivera was on inside of that leader group. Interested to see how long he stays out here, Jake. It's an interesting call that he didn't pit with those other guys.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought, Jose would go down. I honestly thought Parsons and White would go down as well, but here they go, all 3 of them on the top side. They just shoot straight around Jose Luis Rivera like he's sitting still. Here goes Huck Wigington. He's going to go around them as well, so good run for Huck. to be able to get up inside the top 5 at this stage in the race. But here we go, Parsons. We got White. We got Peacock. We got Wigington. We got them all right here. It's going to be within the next couple of laps. I see these guys jumping down as everybody jumps down to the bottom. Look for them to go into the pits here in the next couple of laps.
And to check in with that lead pack, Blake Lothian would be the leader in that lead pack. He races everybody off of pit road. We're seeing some very, very fast lap times on the racetrack. A 51.38 last time by for the 18 machine of Justin Lumpkin. He's in that group that went down pit road. But again, Blake Lothian would be the leader once these guys head down there leading that pack. Look at that pack of absolute dogs here in Nazareth. They are just trying to charge their way around Talladega.
Yeah, and you got actually a couple of packs broken up, if you will. You got Lothian. He's sitting here leading this pack. He's got Cinnamon. He's got Mert, Newton, Lumpkin, as well as Stephen Thomas. Then you got Keith Bradley, Kyle Hess. They're leading the next pack with Cody Knott, Robbie Richards, and Brady LaBeouf, and Raul Meza along with this group. So 3 straight-up packs racing, if you will, right here, as Hunter Parsons and Justin White have yet to go down pit road.
Here's some guys down right now. We're looking at Jose Luis Rivera down, Dennis Shepard down, Kevin D'Elia down, Jacob Klinkart now all licked to head down pit road as we watch some here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network as we jump back up to the top of the grid. Hunter Parsons leads the way in that 25 machine. Justin White right behind him. These guys have not headed down just yet here with 25 laps to go. Just trying to lead some more laps. Hunter Parsons has led some laps here in this race, Jake, but the longer you stay out here in this run, the chances of victory are getting narrower and narrower. As we look back in that lead pack, Chris Cinnamon is now the leader of that lead pack.
Yep, Cinnamon still trying to keep them going right here, and he's getting a lot of help from Jeff Mert, Blake Lothian, Adam Newton. That's the second pack that you got. Then the rest of the pack, actually, it's all been formed up. Kyle Hess all the way to the top. Keith Bradley still stuck right there in the middle trying to get with his Mission 1 Esports teammates, Robbie Richards and Brady LaBeouf in the middle lane. But up front, Hunter Parsons and Justin White, they still have not pitted. They're coming off of turn number 2 as the rest of the pack goes into turn number 3. When will Parsons and White go in? Because I'm telling you, this second pack, who has now all clogged up, if you will, they are starting to run down these guys. If Parsons, White, and Morales won't have any shot to try to keep with the rest of the pack, they got to pit now.
Yeah, as we watch them hit the apex at 3 and 4, watch if anybody heads to the apron off of the corner. Hunter Parsons, they will not head down pit road this time by as the laps are ticking down here in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop. 250. Hunter Parsons still our race leader. He'll take Justin White, Jason Morales, Huck Whittington up there as well in that top side of the group. But we got a large charging pack being led by Chris Cinnamon in that 3. Look at this absolute hornet's nest of the who's who of Nazareth in this second group, Jake.
And every single one of them knows that this is the race for the win as Newton goes all the way to the top. Bradley goes up there with him. Here comes Lothian. Bradley's going to stick it 4 wide. Cinnamon stuck down in the middle. Bradley stuck in the middle. Newton gets hung out for just a split second. But now they go back to the 3 wide, but a very aggressive move by Keith Bradley, making it 4 wide as they hit the stripe.
Yeah, the Animal trying to get another victory here in the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. I'll have to check my notes to see how many that would be in the last few weeks as we're 3 by 3 down the backstretch. For Knott is what the race lead is. There's contact, big wreck into 3 and 4. All of those guys involved, huge contact. Should be a caution flag. There it is, our second caution flag of the night. It's an absolute big one, Jake, as all of those fast trucks are going to be involved. What a mess there into 3 and 4.
What an absolute mess. And folks, it was just all a bad bump, if you will. The 60, Jeff Mert tried to get up here and give Cinnamon a shove. You'll see it right here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. Merck gives Cinnamon a shot. Cinnamon just gets sideways, gets up into Bradley, and then from there on, it was just game over. You'll see it one more time right here. Merck gives him a shot. Cinnamon gets up into Bradley. Cinnamon tries to jump down, and when he does, he comes straight down on top of, I believe that was Blake Lothian. He goes straight up into the wall, and then from there on, all hell breaks loose in turn number 3. A bunch of drivers getting involved in this as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see who all was involved in this. Looks like Joey Doucette, Keith Bradley, Jeff Merck. A lot of those names we've been calling out all race long, Jake, are going to be involved in this somehow, some way. Going to be some residual damage. Some of these trucks tailing this accident. Just not how you want your night to end here at Talladega. See, Robbie Richards is going to be involved as well in that 48. Just a mess, and these guys were just waiting for other guys to pit, and they were just sort of battling it out for the lead, as you were talking about, Jake, but you don't want to see it end like this.
No, you definitely don't want to see it like this, but that's just the aggressive driving that comes with this. I mean, every single one of these guys knew that they was going to be racing for the win right here, because they were just waiting on Parsons, White, and Morales and Wigington, every single one of those guys to dump down and go down pit road. But if we can get a shot of Brady LaBeouf going through that accident, I'm telling you right now, he has got to have a Buckeye like I have right here on my racing rig. He's got to have a Buckeye sitting right beside him, because I'm telling you right now, Brady LaBeouf able to sneak through that and be the leader right now. This is how close this was right here, folks. You're going to see it. I mean, Brady was able to just barely sneak through. I mean, well, damn near the seas parted, and the 24 just shoots straight through it.
You know, watch on board with that 24 machine of Brady LaBeouf. And exactly as you mentioned, Jake, gonna avoid all that disaster like Neo in the Matrix.
I mean, I'm telling you, he waited. He had the time. He sat there and he waited, and everything played out in front of him. He hit the gas and he went. Jose Luis Rivera was also able to barely sneak through that as well. So I'm telling you right now, I mean, that took out a lot of drivers in that accident right there. Hopefully nobody DNF. That's what you don't want to see, but well, we talked about it earlier. We talked about the skill that you got to have. I mean, like I said, this track, it's not easy to drive, because you got to have skill. You got to have patience. You got to tone your aggression down. And when aggression kicks in, you got to have the skill to be able to miss the wrecks. And that's exactly what Brady LaBeouf and Jose Luis Rivera both did.
Counting down the laps here in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250, and we've only had 2 on-track cautions here tonight, but a very clean race on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. But Jake, this does give us a wonderful opportunity to talk about our title sponsor here on Friday nights, Concerns of Police Survivors. And Jake, they do so many wonderful things, and they came on board here in this series, and you know, we're honored and thrilled to announce this partnership between us, Nazra, and C.O.P.S. And the C.O.P.S logo will shine bright across the live broadcast as the new title sponsor for the Friday night series. We want to shout out and thank Mr. Lee Murphy, whose partnership with Nazra was done in dedication to his father, and all he asked was that logo be placed on the backside of these trucks. We invite you to check out all the wonderful things that C.O.P.S does at concernsofpolicesurvivors.org. That's concernsofpolicesurvivors.org. And if you're not following that page, we invite you to go check us out at Nazra Racing on Facebook. We repost a lot of the awesome things that C.O.P.S does as an organization. And Jake, I think on this Friday night, having a sponsor like that is just an honor and thrill.
Absolutely. It's an honor and thrill, and I'm sure that there's a lot of families that are with the Concerns of Police Survivors organization that are watching tonight, and you know, they are absolutely loving this race that is going on. But I mean, 100% great organization that does so much for the families of fallen police or of fallen police officers. And I mean, you know, they do an outstanding job of everything that they do for the families and everything else. And you know, I mean, I say it every single every single week. Will, I mean, I'm 100% behind the boys in blue and everything that they do to try to keep our streets safe and, you know, keep the criminals, try to put the criminals in jail where they need to be. You know, I'm 100% by them with all the, you know, all the stuff that they got to deal with on a daily basis. I'm 100% by them, and my heart goes out to the families that are with the organization. But I'm telling you right now, great organization. Everybody go check them out. Follow us on Nazareth Facebook pages for the information. Go to the website that Will said, because I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed.
Absolutely not, and that's concernsofpolicesurvivors.org. Meanwhile, back here in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250, we have a new top 10 to talk about here, Jake. With Bray LaBeouf now leading the way in that 24. Jason Morales has been lingering in that one, finds himself in the second spot. Hunter Parsons, same thing, has been top 5 all night. He's in third. Justin White in fourth. Jose Luis Rivera will survive all of that there. Finds himself in that 5th position. Buck Whittington in that 0-0. 6th. Blake Lothian in 7th. Kyle Hess 8th. Jacob Klinkart 9th. And Dana Shepard will round out our top 10. I know he has some fans watching along with us here tonight. And Jake, who in that top 10 stands out to you that has a shot at the checkered flag?
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't think anybody wants me to pick them. Honestly, well, because I mean, I had Christopher Blanchard before the green flag dropped, and you seen what happened to Christopher Blanchard. But I mean, I'm telling you, Hunter Parsons, he's looked very, very good up here. Justin White's looked very good as well. Both of them worked together to get Hunter Parsons that stage 1 win. So them two's got my eye, I guess you could say. But I tell you what, if I had to go for a long shot, honestly, I'm going for that 0-0. Honestly,
Okay.
I mean, but that's my long shot, Will. Who I think's gonna win the race? Honestly, I'm going with 1. I mean, hey, he won at Daytona. He knows how to get it done at these super speedways. Jason Morales up there in that number 1 truck, sitting second, has been clean. He's raced aggressive, but he's been up there. He knows how to get it done up there. So I say Jason Morales, he wins the race. But my sleeper out of all of them and the underdog, the long shot that I think's got a shot to 100% win this bad boy, I'm going with that 0-0. I'm going with Hut Wigington as well.
Well, let's see if you should go play the lottery here tonight as the field is rumbling. They're stumbling towards that guy, restart zone. The boss man himself, Mr. Brady LaBeouf, will take us to the start of the finish line. Green flag is in the air into 1 and 2.
LaBeouf down on the bottom. He's going to have Parsons with him. Jason Morales trying to slip back, see if he can get some help from Justin White, but to no avail. Parsons, he is clear. Rivera looks like he's going to get clear. Now Rivera looks like he may jump to the top. He is going to jump to the top. Morales is going to shove him. That's going to stack the back. That's going to stack the outside lane up, but they have a lot of help coming up here. Brady LaBeouf, Hunter Parsons down on the bottom. Lothian stuck in the middle. Here comes Klinkart down on the bottom as they go into 3.
Oh, watch out now as Jose Luis Rivera finds himself on Rivas Island there in the middle of the danger zone lane, trying to eat up another victim as the 20 machine sliding down the field. Jacob Klinkart will slide to the outside. Hunter Parsons off of 4 here down the front stretch. Brady LaBeouf will lead the first lap under green, but it's been a frantic one as we're up to speed into 1 and 2.
Here comes Klinkart. He's going to get the shove. D'Elia right behind him. Rivera right behind D'Elia. Here comes Jason Morales on this top side, trying to see if he can muster something up here on this top side. Got Justin White with him. Jason and Justin really starting to work together as they're really the only ones that's up there now. Here comes Hut Wigington. He's going to jump up here to the top, see if he can get to shoving But Jacob Klinkart and Brady LaBeouf still side by side for the lead as they come off of turn number 4.
We got Jason, we got Jose, we got Jacob, we got all the J's up here in the top side of the grid coming off of 4. It is Jacob, though, leading us down the front stretch here. Jacob Klinkart, that is, in the 5, has been a top 5 truck all night as he crosses that start-finish line. Kevin DeLeo right on that backside as here comes Jason Morales. You can't keep him down either as he's leading the charge on the top side with 3 wide for 4th off of 2.
Jason Morales trying to get that help from Justin White, and they are starting to make some hay up there on that top side. Here he comes, huge shove, slam straight into Jason Morales. Big time shove as he's going to push Morales even further to try to challenge for the lead on the bottom. Here comes Brady LaBeouf. He's going to stick it on the inside with help from Hunter Parsons and Adam Newton on that bottom side. Here comes Klinkart with D'Elia off of turn 4.
15 laps to go, but that is an eternity for these drivers behind the wheel of these trucks. This race has been a high heart rate event since the drop of the green flag. All these drivers want to conquer the high banks of Sweet Home Talladega as the field heads into 1 and 2. Jacob Klinkart's holding it down on the top side as Brady LaBeouf on the low side of the racetrack is being pushed along by Hunter Parsons. We come off of 2 still clean here as the field roars down the backstretch as Hunter Parsons goes to the outside, battle for the lead into 3.
Parsons in the middle. Now he's got Jacob Klinkart with him. Here comes Jose Luis Rivera and that number 20 who just snuck through the big one the previous couple of laps. Now Klinkart, he's going to take a look to the top. He's going to try to go up there with Rivera. That's going to advance in the middle. Lothian's going to advance, get up to Parsons, but here comes Klinkart with the shove from Jose Luis Rivera. Brady LaBeouf still has it with help from Adam Newton and Stephen Thomas, but here comes Klinkart on the top with Jose Luis Rivera.
Who will survive to the end of this race as we are 3 by 3 by 3 like a construction company here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. The field comes off of 2 synchronized like it's the Summer Olympics. Jacob Klinkart on the top side leads us down there into 3 and 4. Hunter Parsons in the middle. Brady LaBeouf on the low side. Looks like a track meet coming off of forward, Jake. No separation in this top side.
No separation at all from the front bumper to the back bumper. No separation from the sides, if you will. That's how tight these guys are. Going through the tri-oval, Klinkart has the lead. Klinkart will get clear. Will he jump down? No, he will not. Parsons, he's going to stay in the middle. He's going to keep Lothian with him. Rivera just trying to get clear. He wants to make a shot at Klinkart, but he's not able to do it. Parsons, he fights back in the middle. Klinkart still stuck up on the top. Brady LaBeouf down on the bottom with help from Adam Newton as they are 3 wide for the lead at Talladega.
If you want a picture of your favorite driver's truck, right now is the time to get it. You can't get any more beautiful shots than what we're seeing right now on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. The entire field is 3 wide, but we got some unfiling going on. The top side of the racetrack, Jose Luis Rivera, Jacob Klinkart, all of a sudden don't like each other there on the top side. Very uncomfortable. You see that unwinding just a little bit. Could be disastrous. We'll have to wait and see with 11 laps to go as the field heads into 1.
Klinkart is clear. Jose Rivera still trying to see if he can get clear. He's clear for a second. Now he is not as Parsons going to battle back in the middle lane. D'Elia up there up top with Jason Morales as well. But Jacob Klinkart 100% straight up clear, if you will. All of them on the top shoving one another as now Jose Luis Rivera, he's blew up. He's off the pace. Everybody's stacking up behind him.
Watch out as Jose Luis Rivera has blown an engine on the racetrack as Jake just called it out live, and we have it. There it is. Big wreck on the low side of the racetrack as it looks like Jose Luis Rivera will collect some trucks as his engine blew in the middle of a 3 wide battle. Jake, I don't think I've ever seen that here in iRacing. It's been a long, long time since I've seen that happen. A driver's engine completely blows in the middle of a battle.
Well, I mean, it was bound to happen. I mean, that's how hard Jose Luis Rivera was shoving him, and he was trying to figure out a way to try to get out of it. But maybe he just wasn't looking at it. I'm telling you, they were three wide bouncing off one another. Delia was able to get by. Cinnamon was able to get by. Rivera trying to find a way to get down to the bottom. And all of a sudden, here comes Taylor Peacock, Robbie Richards, Kyle Hess, and Michael McKinnon, the Hard Luck Award winner from last week. Keith Bradley also involved. Big time implications in this race after Jose Luis Rivera pushed the engine just a little bit too far here at Talladega.
And maybe we can get an overhead shot of that 20 to see how far he does fall back until contact is made. And he feels it right there down the backstretch. And Jake, you know, as a driver, there's really nothing you can do here but hold on.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do is hold on in that particular point right there. I mean, he's holding his line, really. I mean, Peacock was just getting shoved by Richards right there, just shoved him straight into him. McKinnon tried to get through. Bradley almost able to
Almost had it.
Almost had it, and then he got tagged on the left rear and got spun down to the inside wall. But, I mean, unfortunate to see that. But in that particular instance, Will, you've got to watch you got to watch your temperature gauges. I mean, he had the opportunity. He was clear for a good bit right there. He could have jumped out of line, but had he jumped out of line, he would have slid back because that outside lane was just straight up moving like Seabiscuit at the Kentucky Derby. That's how fast they were rolling on that top side. But unfortunate for Jose Luis Rivera. Unfortunate for a lot of guys that got involved. Taylor Peacock, Michael McKinnon, Keith Bradley, Kyle Hess, those drivers getting involved in this accident. It's a shame to see that, but I'm telling you, right here with coming to 10 laps to go right here, it's just going to stack this field up even harder, and aggression's just going to get more.
And Jake, I think I have to agree with what you're saying there, and I think some folks at home watching along with us here on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network on our YouTube page are posing the same question. But I think I gotta tip my cap to Jose Luis Rivera in the sense that he felt the engine blow. I mean, maybe he pushed it a little bit too hard. Yes, I'll agree with you there. But I think his actions of knowing when that happened, of not overreacting in that situation, Jake. He tried his best to avoid virtually the entire field. He felt it right there coming off the corner. He knew he was done. He knew that engine was blown. And I'd have to say you're only going to collect one or two trucks at the tail end of the field. A great job of avoiding what could have been more of a disaster on the racetrack.
I mean, and if you know that your engine's blown right there, I mean, if he knew that he was in that bad a shape right there, his best option, as soon as it blew, he should have just went straight all the way down to the yellow line. A lot of people may be sitting there thinking, well, it'd been kind of hard for them to jump down to the bottom because the bottom was coming. That's just one of those instances where you just got to hold what you got. I mean, like you said, Will, that he just got to hold his line the best that he can. And he did. I mean, he held it the best that he could. Obviously, his option was your first reaction, get out of the way, get down below the yellow line. But you got so many people coming by you at one time, they just can't lift out of the gas, because if they do, they're going to lose the draft. They're going to lose the lead pack. You may not get a caution right there, and then that might screw your race. So it was just an unfortunate deal how that was, but I mean, that's what happens when you push so much. I've seen it happen in official races, Will. I've seen it happen where somebody just goes up there, they don't unlock themselves from somebody else's back bumper, and they just heat the engine up too much. They're not getting enough airflow to the engine. For the viewers at home, they're not getting enough airflow to the engine. Engine gets hot, it detonates, it expires. And then, like we said, Will, he was just along for the ride at that point.
As we watch him pull that thing into pit road, and I think with those banged up race cars and everything that we just saw on that caution flag, gives us an opportunity to talk about our race sponsor of the night, Jake, and it's a guy who's in-house, and that's Fleeger Farm Paint Shop. Do you want to have a personal experience designing a race car, or would you like to take the stress out of figure out who could do the best work? Well, contact Fleeger Farm Paint Shop. Started in 2020. First wraps are free. That's That's right, folks. First paint schemes are free over at Fleeger Farm Paint Shop. Go contact Adam now on Facebook at Fleeger Farm Paint Shop. There, ask about that free paint scheme. And Jake, I don't know anybody who does paints that's offering a free paint scheme for first-time customers.
Yeah, there's nobody that I know that's doing that particular deal, and I'm telling you, folks, you might want to get over there and get a hold of Adam over at Fleeger Paint Shops or at Fleeger Farm Paint Shops, because I'm telling you, he has got the hookup for you. I've seen some of the paint schemes that he has made. Some of those paint schemes being ran here in this race here tonight at Talladega. So go contact Adam. He will hook you up with a killer paint scheme for your truck, your race car, your modified, your dirt late model, whatever. Adam's the man to do it.
Absolutely. Let's check in with a new top 10. We have Hunter Parsons, Brady LaBeouf, Adam Newton, Dana Shepard, Stephen Thomas, Jeff Merck, Justin Lumpkin, Jacob Klinkart, Ed Osborne in the 42s up in the top 10 now, and Jason Morales at the tail end. But here we go, folks. Late race action here at Talladega, as it will be Hunter Parsons across that start-finish line. A race resumes into one.
Parsons trying to get the shove from Newton. Parsons able to get the jump. Newton with him. Here comes Brady LaBeouf down on the bottom with help from Dana Shepard and Jeff Merck down on the bottom side. Parsons going to slip back into the clutches of Brady LaBeouf. Now LaBeouf power moves it off of turn number 2 as Shepard trying to give him the shove, but now Parsons, he's going to fight back on the outside with help of Adam Newton and Stephen Thomas.
Dana Shepard trying to hold on the inside lane. Only truck up here on old equipment. Throw that out the window now here at this point as Hunter Parsons finds himself in a dangerous lane. Adam Newton comes to the rescue, throws that nose behind the back bumper of Hunter Parsons. As we come off of 4, big wreck as Dana Shepard makes contact with Hunter Parsons. A lot of trucks involved here down the front stretch as trucks are flying all over the place. Chaos ensues here at Talladega.
The big one, take 2, if you will, here at Talladega. All of it started with Adam Newton trying to give the shove to Hunter Parsons on this top side, not able to do it. Actually, Dana Shepard, he comes up just a little bit, gets into Parsons. Newton able to scoot away. So was Stephen Thomas, but everybody behind him, God help them, if you will, getting caught up in this major accident here off of turn 4.
Let's watch the replay here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. And I think there may have been the slightest of contact on the back bumper of the 45 from the 60 of Jeff Merck that made the 45 uncomfortable. Makes contact with Hunter Parsons there, who was on the top side of the racetrack. And you just see it after that, Jake. It's just a demolition derby. The dominoes start to fall.
Yeah, and a bunch of guys getting caught up in this accident. Cody Knott, one of those guys who was having a very good run, just trying to stay out of all the trouble. Jeff Sickles, one of those guys as well, just trying to miss every bit of it. Huck Wigginton, also one of those guys. Dana Shepard, that was the one that got tagged. Jeff Merck also getting involved in this as well, as Hunter Parsons was as well. I'm telling you, I mean, just it free fall right through the field. I'm telling you.
And if we could take another look at it, Jake, what do you see here from a driver's point of view of what may have brought out this caution? I know folks at home are probably looking at it like, oh my goodness, the big one once again, and they're seeing maybe slight contact between the 60 and the 45. What do you see there at the top?
Well, from what I'm seeing right there, I mean, it's just aggressive pushing is exactly what it is. I mean, Merck tried to get up there and tried to give the shove to Dana Shepard, but the problem that you got right here is you can't push in the corner, especially in these trucks. I mean, it just does not happen. As you see, Merck takes a hard impact to the inside wall. His night will be over with, but I mean, it's hard to do a 3-car tandem, especially in the trucks. It's hard to do it in the Xfinity cars. Now, next gen cars, you can do it. You can do a 4-car tandem. I've done that in the next gen cars, so you're able to pull that off, but 3-car tandem, 3-truck tandem, if you will, just doesn't really work. But from what I'm seeing, I mean, there was very, very slight contact with Jeff Merck that got into Dana Shepard right here. But, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's bumping in the corners. We've seen aggressive bumping on the straightaways. We've seen aggressive bumping now in the corners. And aggressive bumping in the corners is very, you can do it. But if you do it the wrong way and it goes the wrong way and it shoots a guy up the racetrack, that's what's going to happen. You're going to have a big wreck.
Yeah, big one. Times two, as you said, Jake, here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. This has been the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250. If you've been watching along with us here all night long on our YouTube or Facebook pages, as you've been listening to myself, William Tiller, Jake Reeves up here, and Adam Fleeger has been the man providing all the sights and sounds. And folks, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and like this video on YouTube, share, subscribe, all those great things. All those little things build up to be big things for us here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. And the more viewers, the more excited we get here as well. We've had some folks watching what has been an incredible race here, Jake. Lots of lead changes, lots of 3 wide battles. With 5 laps to go, we might see some overtime as well.
Absolutely, and folks, I've got to actually correct myself because now I've actually seen a little bit more of the accident right there, and what that was netcode. Merck never touched Dana Shepard right there, so I've got to back Jeff Merck on that one right there. He never touched Dana Shepard right there. It was just straight up hard netcode right there. It was just some side drafting that Newton and Parsons, it looks like they was trying to come down and trying to side draft, and netcode once again it claims victims, and that's exactly what it was. It was just some hard side drafting that came down. iRacing registered a contact right there, and there was no contact right there, but they registered it, and then Shepard came up, got into Newton, got into Parsons, and then that's what happened right there. But I mean, I had to correct myself on that, folks, because, you know, if I'm wrong, I'll 100% say I'm wrong, and I was wrong on that. That wasn't Jeff Merrick's fault right there. That was just iRacing. That was just hard side drafting. That was just a racing incident, is what that was.
Absolutely love the clarity out of the booth up here, and sometimes those iRacing incidences play a huge role in the finishes of these races. But let's check out the top 10 now here on this restart. We're going to have 3 laps to go as Brady LaBeouf will be our race leader. Adam Newton in second. Jacob Plinkart third. Stephen Thomas fourth. Justin Lumpkin fifth. Jason Morales sixth. Justin White seventh. Kyle Hess eighth. Ashley Dawson ninth. And Adam Johnson 10th. And good news, folks, all of these drivers inside the top 10, with the exception of Jason Morales, all looking for their first win of the season, Jake. As last week's winner, Keith Bradley, we saw Mike Sargent, Jeff Merck, Phil Pappas, all these guys winning. The only one that's won inside the top 10 is Jason Morales.
Yeah, and where did he win at? At Daytona on a super speedway, which is one of those guys that we definitely need to watch out for. He was one of the guys that I picked right here to have some success here at Talladega and be able to get 2 for 2 on the super speedways. But here we go. Brady LaBeouf, he is on the gas. Clinkart right behind him, all up in his grill, or up in his tailgate, if you will. Newton down on the bottom with Stephen Thomas, but Brady LaBeouf leads him down into turn number 1.
Brady LaBeouf using that Bayou energy here tonight on the top side of the racetrack, being pushed along by Jacob Klinkart in that 5, as Adam Newton is feeling electric in that DSR electric machine. He'll vibe his way to the top side of the grid. Adam Newton, our race leader now with 3 laps to go. Down the backstretch, he'll be pushed along by Stephen Thomas in that 23. Into 3 and 4, the field goes, Jake, as the battle continues for the race win.
As you would say, Will, 3 to go. Shout out and salute. 3's in the air for Dale Earnhardt, who had a lot of success here at Talladega. Brady LaBeouf going to take them back. 2 to go this time by. LaBeouf still has the top side with Klinkart and Morales. Now he is able to get clear of Adam Newton, but he's going to stay in that top side as here comes Newton. Here comes Thomas. Here comes Lumpkin down on the bottom side as they come off of turn number 2.
Will we get overtime, or will this race stay green as we come off of 2? big wheel right there. Nobody's on the wall there, as you see Chris Cinnamon with an aggressive move on the top side of the racetrack. Brady LaBeouf leads the way, though, in the middle, as the low side of the racetrack has Adam Newton into 3 and 4, back to 2x2 racing, as you see Stephen Thomas in the 23 looks to the inside, has to file back behind the 82 as we come off of 4. Here he comes. Brady LaBeouf will take the 1 to go here down the front stretch.
And he's going to get a tap from Clinkart. Clinkart almost turns him. Here comes Morales trying to find a way around him. White flag is in the air. Here comes Newton. Newton down on the bottom with help from Stephen Thomas, Justin Lumpkin. Here comes Keith Bradley up in the middle lane with Ashley Dodson as they're going to stick it 3 wide and try to get up here and help Brady LaBeouf as the Mission 1 Esports team up in the middle lane.
Oh my goodness, what's happening? Keith Bradley from the middle lane is being pushed to the top side of the racetrack. He finds himself in the back side of the race leader, Brady LaBeouf, into 3 and 4. Keith Bradley has been invisible here tonight. He is now visible at the top side of the racetrack as we come off of 4. The 29 machine of Keith Bradley is right on the back bumper of Brady LaBeouf. See if he makes a move off of 4. Here he goes. He has to follow back behind the back bumper. Across the Geico restarts on the field. Next man will be Brady LaBeouf. The Bayou Bengal himself gets the race victory in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250.
Brady LaBeouf getting the win here this evening. Big time move right there for Brady LaBeouf to get the win here at Talladega. Keith Bradley will get second. Justin White will get third. Stephen Thomas, Adam Newton. That is the top 5 as they all wrecked coming to the line. But Brady LaBeouf, Keith Bradley, Justin White, all those drivers able to sneak through. And Brady LaBeouf gets the win for Mission 1 Esports.
What an absolute win for the 24 machine of Brady LaBeouf, and we'll have to watch that battle to the line once again here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. I think he had a helper at the line. I think Keith Bradley, he came out of nowhere at the very end, almost tried to go back to back, but here he goes. The Bayou Bengal himself will burn it down the front stretch here at Sweet Home Talladega.
Brady LaBeouf from Louisiana getting the win here tonight at Talladega, and he is ecstatic to get the win, just straight up burning it down here at the start-finish line. Keith Bradley also doing some burnouts, if you will, as well. Wow, I mean, 1-2 finish right there from Mission 1 Esports is now they're going to get right up on each other's bumpers right here, front bumpers, and do the burn it down tandem style right here at the start-finish line.
And I think that's what we saw at that line there, Jake. Keith Bradley pulled out from the back bumper. Brady LaBeouf thought about making a move there on the 24, pulled back behind him, cruised across that start-finish line as our second place finisher. But it looks like those results are official. Now let's check them out here, as Brady LaBeouf is our race winner in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250. Second place will go to his teammate, the animal himself, with another podium finish here tonight. Third place will go to Justin White in that 2. Fourth will go to the 23 of Stephen Thomas. In the top 5, we'll have the 82 of Adam Newton. Sixth will go to the 5 of Jacob Klinkart. Seventh is the 43 of Blake Lothian. Eighth is the 1 machine of Jason Morales. Good run out of Jason here tonight. Ninth is the 88 of Ashley Dodson. And rounding out our top 10 is the 86 of Kyle Hess.
Then you got the 69 of Adam Johnson. He goes 27th all the way to 11th. Good run for Adam Johnson. Got Zach Hartwick in 12th. Chris Cinnamon 13th. Dana Shepard, he'll get 14th. Robbie Richards gets 15th. Eric Zimmerman will get 16th. Justin Lumpkin, who was up in the battle for the win, now he's going to finish 17th here at Talladega. Hunter Parsons, stage 1 winner, he will get 18th. Raul Meza gets 19th, and Cody Knott rounds out the top 20.
Yeah, check out the rest of the field. Here in the 21st position, we have Huck Winnington in that 00. The last remaining truck on the lead lap will be the 22 of Jeff Sickles in a 22nd position. 23rd is going to have Taylor Peacock in the 81. 24th, Brendan Bullock. 25th, the 42 of Ed Osborne. 26th, Kevin DeLear, our pole sitter. Not a run that he wishes to remember. Finishes 26th here tonight. Jeff Merck, same thing in that 60. Not familiar territory for that 60 machine. Wants to forget this race here tonight. Finishes 27th. Michael McKinnon in that 13. Our Hard Luck Award winner heading in. Could be in contention again. Finishes 28th here tonight. Jose Luis Rivera in that 20 finishes 29th. Joey Doucette in the 30th position. And in the 31st position is the 9 machine of Chris Blanchard. And that will round out our field in the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250. But Jake, let's not waste any time. Let's get to the boss man himself. Brady LaBeouf, the 24 machine, wasn't a name we called out for the first 75% of this race, but definitely a name we started to call out with 30 laps to go. And once he got up the top of that grid, he had to do some defense, and that led to him winning the race here tonight. And joining us now in the broadcast booth, the winner of the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250, Mr. Brady LaBeouf. And Brady, how did you get that done here tonight?
Oh, man. Keith Bradley, Ashley Dotson, Joey Doucette, Robbie Richards, Ed Osborne, Hunter Parsons, all my M1 teammates. That's the only reason why I got track position there at the end. The pit strategy worked out for us, and I mean that hit at the end by Keith to propel us in front of the field, man. I want to go back and look at it. I'm still surprised I was able to keep it straight. So, yeah, I'm glad I raced tonight instead of letting Jacob race.
Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hell, at least we brought home the win for Mission 1 Esports, Brady. At least we got us a win tonight.
No, man, I've been doing this for 3 years with Nazareth, and this is my first super speedway win.
Ooh.
So I don't know what it is about tonight, but today I just felt something good was going to come out today. Just the way it all kind of panned out, the way the week's been going, and I said it for the past 2 weeks. They've been asking me if I'm going to come run, and I said I was going to come run to help them out. And when we got there towards the end, and I was on the front row, I said, guys, I'm going for it. And I hated to kind of stick with it. I knew I put them 3 trucks in a row, but Jacob kind of sent me a side message saying, hey, I'm with you all the way. I'll push you. So, and Jacob's a great pusher at these super speedway tracks. So that's why I chose that. And it actually worked out because it gave me the vision whenever they were kind of going 2 and 3 wide there at the end. I can kind of see Keith poking his nose out, and I seen that lime green Nazareth 360 Racing Network sticker. So I was like, yep, there he is. Let's go.
And Brady, we could feel the franticness, the anxiety of this race since the drop of the green flag. Tell us what a victory at Talladega means to you. As Jake was talking about during this race, it's a track that everybody loves the race. It might not be the one that you love after the race, but tell us, what's this mean, a victory at Talladega in that 24?
Oh, man. I mean, to do the burnouts there, I love doing burnouts at Talladega. I don't really win here that much. I think in my whole entire iRacing career, this might be my 3rd win. I've got 2 wins, in officials or in another league or whatnot. But it's really a chess match. It's really a mind game. You don't know what the guy's going to do if he's not working with you, if he's not your teammate. So it's a mental. It drills you mentally for sure. Luckily, I know it's bad for Joey Doucette, the 16 truck. He actually got, I think he had a connection issue or some kind of glitch. I think he was involved in a wreck. He got taken out. So he was actually helping spotting for me. And it's just a lot of anxiety, Will, because, it seems like I'm always in this position and there's a green-white checkered or 5 laps to go and you're sitting there and you're pacing around. You're trying to figure out, okay, what does the top 10 look like? If I take the bottom line, this is the people pushing me. If I take the top, these are the guys that's working together. Who's teammates? Who's not? Am I by myself? Do I have somebody? So man, it's a lot, and man, I just feel like the weight's lifted off my shoulders because I finally got something done.
Well, you got a lot done here tonight. You get that checkered flag. You get to pay yourself as well. That's always a good thing, Brady. But we have you in victory lane. You shouted out a few of them to start off this post-race interview, but the floor is yours, my man. Thank all those sponsors, everybody who helped you get this victory here tonight.
Yeah, first and foremost, God. Uh, then my wife, my kids. They allow me to do this on Friday nights and Monday nights or Thursday nights. It's just a hobby, and without them, I wouldn't be able to do it. So thank you to them. Shout out. I didn't get to do it. It's been a while since I did an interview with you guys, so it might take me a while. But shout out, if I don't know if he's watching or not, but Steve Bornett Sr. On Monday nights, I got a fan. His son races in our series on Monday nights, and he doesn't even go for his son. He roots for me. So, Mr. Steve, if you're watching out there in Michigan, shout out to you and NRE Power Systems, Nazar 360 Racing Network, Jacob, Will, Adam, you guys that helped me make this happen on Friday nights. My buddy Cody Knott, my vice president, all the board, the appeals panel, and cops, everybody that butt kicker, everybody that helps make this series happen. I'm just thankful again for my teammates because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now.
Well, the winner of the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250, Mr. Brady LaBeouf, and that 24 machine. Congratulations from us here in the booth. Cannot wait to see you back inside that truck on Monday night in those playoff races and back here next Friday.
Thank you guys.
That was Brady LaBeouf, our winner here. But I believe, Jake, you're catching up with the animal himself, who got a lot of credit in the interview about being a great teammate. Take it away.
Yeah, Keith Bradley. This is Jake Reeves. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, bud, I'm telling you, first thing I want to know is where the hell did you come from? Because you were back there. You got caught up in that wreck when Jose Luis Rivera blew the engine. So you got caught up in that. And then all of a sudden, here you are up here battling with Brady LaBeouf for the win. I mean, honestly, where the heck did you come from, buddy?
I think we were sitting like 14th, and the guys behind me were making moves to get to the top. So I tried my best to get in front of, I think it was Chris Cinnamon, and it was like the Red Seas parted, and there was Ashley Dodson, my other teammate. And he's like, just come back down the middle. We'll go to the front. And it worked. So hats off to Ashley for being a great teammate right there and getting us all three to the front. And wish we could have got a 1-2-3 finish, but hey, we'll take this finish, especially after the night I had. I think I was caught up in 2 wrecks, had some minor damage to get fixed both times, and who would have thought I'd be sitting second? So I can't be happier.
Absolutely, and we saw the shot, I guess you could say, when y'all was coming through the tri-oval. Looked like you kind of jumped up. Was you thinking about trying to make a move on Brady? I mean, granted, you're teammates from Mission One Esports. Was you thinking about making a move, or was it because I believe it was Lothian, I believe it was, that jumped up to the top side? Were you just trying to block his advance, or was you actually trying to go for the win?
I seen the momentum coming, and I figured Blake was going to try to go to the outside, so I figured I'd at least try to make a move of some sort to slow the momentum down to prevent the run from really capitalizing and propelling them forward. And I just wanted to see Brady get his first super speedway win, so that's kind of what I was setting out for. I mean, we're good on points. We're in the playoffs, so there was no reason to make a risky move to try to get a win for basically nothing. I'm just glad we could push Brady to the win.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, a win is a win, and it's more playoff points. But getting a 1-2 finish here at Talladega, Keith Bradley getting second behind the boss man, Brady LaBeouf. And Keith, before we let you go, you got any shout-outs that you want to have, bud?
Oh, absolutely. Thank all the sponsors, Nazra 360 Racing Network, all you guys up in the booth, Blanchard's Towing, Poltz Boppers, Warrior Wraps, the C.O.P.S for jumping on board this season as the title sponsor, my personal sponsor, Indy Race Parts. Anybody in the dirt racing scene, whether you race sprint cars or midgets, hit up Indy Race Parts. So they'll get you hooked up with some good parts. And all my teammates, man, Brady, Ashley, Robbie, Joey, and Ed. We come out to these plate races with a good good mindset of let's just ride. If you need playoff points, we'll try to get to the front sooner. If not, we'll just ride around because it pays more points to finish the race than it is to wreck out in the middle of stage 2. So thank all them guys. Thank everybody with the league and everybody watching.
Well, Keith, and we appreciate you putting on a show and going from 14th all the way up to second, making it look easy, if you will. But Keith Bradley coming home second. We'll see you next week, bud. Congratulations.
Thanks. Have a good weekend.
That was Keith Bradley. He got second tonight. I mean, just straight up. I mean, well, we talked about. I mean, we talked to him just a second. I mean, we talked to him about that, just making that move, going up through the, through their teammates, all the trust and everything. That's how you do it. But have you caught up with Justin White, who got third?
Yeah, catching up with that two machine of Justin White, who throughout tonight's race was a great pusher, a great mover up there inside the top 5. Didn't really drift out too much out of that zone. Justin, you really maintained control. You able to avoid some of those big wrecks down the stretch. Coming home third here tonight. Pretty good run out of that too.
Yeah, I'll definitely take it. I'm not a big super speedway fan kind of guy unless I got some good decent teammates. And tonight, I mean, I've always had good teammates at super speedways between Nate and a couple other guys, but these guys tonight, I mean, we just I don't know. Sometimes you click with certain guys. I click with my normal teammates, but these guys we clicked even more so. We were on the same page all night.
And Justin, looking down towards the end of this race with those caution flags, did you feel like that you could still get a good finish, or did you feel like that maybe one of those big ones was going to gobble you up?
I figured one of the big ones was going to gobble me up. Somebody was going to make a mistake, and it was all she wrote, right straight to the wall, and tuck it in there and just put it on the hauler and go home.
And Justin, with the third place finish here tonight, you're starting to get that roll going, that confidence back. How do you continue this throughout this season as we keep up towards that All-Star break?
Just being consistent and staying consistent. Just making sure you don't overdrive the truck and just keep clicking off those finishes. You can top 10 them to death. I've got a buddy of mine, Roger Diebold. He will point you to death. He won't win a race all season, but he will point you to death, and you'll be like, how is he here at the end of the season in the championship race without a win? And that's what he does. Just top 10, top 5s, just clicks them off one by one. That's what we shoot for.
I love it there. You just pile on the points. People can win as many races as they can, but if you have the most points at the end, that's all that matters. But with that third place finish here tonight, Justin, we'd love to give you plenty of finishers the chance to shout out anybody you might have had watching at home or any sponsors that help you get to the podium.
Yep. I want to shout out to Fleeger Paint Shop. They put the paint on the truck each and every week for me. He does an awesome job. His paints are they just pop for me. I like them. I like the way they look. Between the COP scheme and the grind scheme, he does a real good job each week. I want to thank Grinds for getting me off chewing tobacco. Hopefully keep me cancer free, and then I end up with that. I go to one of my buddies, Tom, who went through that, and I encourage you, if you're on tobacco or anything like that, especially chewing tobacco, getgrinds.com. They'll help you kick the habit. Appreciate you guys in the booth. Appreciate all the admins, board of directors. Appreciate my teammates, Hunter, Jason, Huck. All those guys are pushing me each and every week. Nate, Robbie, Robbie Richards, all those guys on my Monday team too. Just continue to keep plugging away, keep racing, and we'll just keep piling on the finishes.
Well, Justin, you come home third here tonight in the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. Congratulations on that podium finish. Cannot wait to see you back behind the wheel of that too, whether it's on Monday night or next Friday night here in the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. Appreciate you taking the time. Have a great weekend and a great job on that third place.
Yes, sir. You too. And appreciate the main sponsor, Concerns of Police. Appreciate those guys coming on board. I tend to forget somebody, and I'm not going to do that tonight.
There we go. Perfect shout out there to the Concerns of Police Survivors. That was our third place finisher, Justin White, the driver of the two machine here tonight. And Jake, now that this race is wrapped up, it was everything that we thought it was going to be here at the high banks of Talladega. Multiple lead changes. Guys led maybe one or two laps throughout this race, but they've led some laps in this race. And we did have some big ones. We had two big ones at the end. What are your final thoughts of the Fleeger Farm Paint Shop 250?
I mean, it's the slogan. This is Talladega. I mean, that's what they say here at Talladega. I mean, that's what it says right there in the tri-oval. I mean, you see it right there on your screen. This is Talladega. That's what they always say, and that's exactly what it was tonight. You had a great run all the way through. You had your green flag pit stops. You had your big ones, and you had a hell of a finish. To be honest with you, I mean, awesome win, for Brady LaBeouf and Keith Bradley taking Mission One Esports 1-2 finish. I mean that's awesome to see, especially since Brady said that he's never really won a super speedway race. I mean that's got to be big for him to get the win tonight. So in all honesty, well, I'm kind of happy I give him the spot here tonight because I was gonna run this race here tonight, but with Brady getting the win tonight, makes me feel so much better that he got the win. But all in all, I mean, it's Talladega, and that's why we love it.
First super speedway win in 3 years for Brady LaBeouf, folks. I wrote that stat down so I couldn't forget what a momentous win that is for the 24 machine of Brady LaBeouf to be pushed across the line by his teammate Keith Bradley in that 29 machine. But before we wrap things up here tonight on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, we want to thank all the fans for watching all night long. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and give our Facebook page a like and follow our YouTube page, the same thing. We're also on X, formerly known as Twitter. But we also want to thank our wonderful sponsors involved on this Friday night series. C.O.P.S, Concerns of Police Survivors. They do wonderful things. We invite you to go check them out at concernsofpolicesurvivors.org. We also want to shout out our Hard Luck Award winner and our race sponsor, Fleeger Farm Paint Shop. Folks, we invite you to go hit up Adam on Facebook at Fleeger Farm Paint Shop. Today, he's offering a free paint scheme for first-time customers. Again, that's a free paint scheme for first-time customers. And for all of us here at the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, we invite you to check out our Monday series, the SimRacerHub.com truck series that kicks off the playoff races, or actually the second week of playoff races on Monday. And then you can join us back here on Friday night as we take on Lucas Oil Speedway in what is week number 10 in the Concerns of Police Survivors truck series. Only one race remains before the All-Star race. But for myself, William Tiller, Mr. Jake Reeves, and Adam Fleeger, our wonderful producer here tonight, we want to send a special congratulations to Brady LaBeouf. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on the track soon.